All right, let's see how this whole thing works out over here on my end. Let's see if I can get this whole thing going safely here from this location. What is going on? Welcome to another episode, another weekend of Nimmin Live. I'm Nick. You're watching this on my channel. Typically, I'm in a totally different place with my brother from the same mother, D, but unfortunately, we had some problems over at the other studio, and I actually even have a yellow here in terms of the stream health. So we're gonna see how this is gonna go. I'm not seeing any buffering or anything weird happening, so I think we might be okay. But happy to see you. I didn't think that I was going to be able to stream tonight. I was thinking we were over there and we were just messing around, getting everything ready for the stream. And we noticed that everything was going really, really slow. And we were like, oh no, like what's going on with the internet? What's going on? And we went and unplugged the modem and plugged it back in. And then an error popped up saying that there was some like line problem and all this other stuff. But hey, we are back. We are moving forward. I hope everybody's had an awesome week. So what we are doing today, if this is your first time on a live stream, and real quick, everybody, if you could just do me a huge favor and share this out on Twitter, because a lot of notifications went out. People came in, the stream wasn't happening, they bailed, things like that, just to let people know what is going on, let people know that we are streaming, that we are live. Now, please share this out on Twitter. If you could do me that solid, it would be fantastic. But yeah, so basically, what we're doing today, if this is your first time on the stream, is we are looking at, we're answering your YouTube questions. And we are basically saying, hey, this is your question. This is what you want to know. So let's answer this based on all of the experience and information that we have at our disposal, and make sure that we can try to give you the best information possible when it comes to, what you should be doing here on YouTube and with your channel and all of that good stuff. So I also do want to let you know, let's see here if I can find it, that this stream, and this is, I have to say this a bunch, that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. You can try TubeBuddy for free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin, but you'll definitely want to upgrade to get the additional features as well. But tubebuddy.com/Nimmin, TubeBuddy is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. So if you don't have it yet, make sure that you get it installed so you can check it out for yourself and see what is going on. I will be periodically talking about that because FTC requires it. And, it's important to me to let you know about TubeBuddy and the plugin and anything really that's going to it's going to, help you out and, help you with what it is that you are doing here on YouTube. So before we get into the normal stuff where I'm just cranking out the Q&A, I do want to let you know that I might be doing something a little bit different today, since we are going from here, something a little bit different. And the info actually is not in the description. So mods, you might want to get ready for this, because in the event that we do this, we're going to be doing this through Discord. So I will have to put that in the description, actually as well, if we decide to go this route. But this was on here. So I was like, hey, we might do some call in today. So we're going to see how that works out. So Doug, if you could double check that and see if we can possibly end up pulling this through. Whoa. So we'll see. We're going to work on that on the fly and see how it goes. But if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that the form to get your questions answered is down in the description below. So if you have a question that you want answered about what it is that you're doing here on YouTube, make sure that you put it in the form that's down in the description below. And I'm actually going to drop that form right here in the chat as well, so that you can make sure that you get your question in the form. And I answer those in the order that they come in. So if you want something answered about what it is that you're doing, make sure that you go ahead and drop it in the form. All right, big fan from India. What is up? Lil Crafty Nook, what is going on? Nice to see you in here. Paul Peck Drywall 2, what is up? Doug Hoosen in the house. What is up, man? Nice to see you. Yoko Bug. Make sure that you put your question down in the comments below. D, if you happen to be watching, feel free to swing by if you would like at any time throughout the evening. Aisle or window, what is going on? Nice to see you here. Yeah, we definitely got the stream going. It definitely, we had a little bit of a rough start, I think would probably be the safe way to say that, but I'm happy that it got going. Danielle cutting the caboose, thank you for the 50 spot, saying for more internets and to celebrate 2,000 signups to Tude Spanner, thanks to you. Congratulations on that, Danielle. That is fantastic to hear. Tube Spanner, I'm sure you guys heard me mention it in my last video, not the last video, but the one before last, is an awesome tool for content creators. You can find that at tubespanner.com. It actually helps you with your workflow. Really, really cool stuff. But Danielle there, the one that just dropped that super chat, it's Tube Spanner is her project, and it is absolutely awesome. So definitely go over and check that out when you get a chance. A link to it's in the description as well. So let's see here. So what we're going to do, hey, what's up, Stanley? So what we're going to do is we are going to get into the YouTube questions. We're going to start that first. And then as we get everything figured out here in terms of the Discord, then we're going to try to get that worked out as well. I'm actually going to pull up the Discord right now. And Doug, if you would do me a huge favor, man, and if you would just drop me the share link to the Discord, if you could just shoot me a message, and then I can actually put that in the description for when we're doing the call-in stuff here in just a little bit. That would be awesome, and I would super duper massively appreciate that. So I have my Discord open, just waiting for, oh, you got it in there already. Look at you. Holy cow, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the description. So in the event that we end up doing the call-in, where you can call and talk to me, and we can, talk about, whatever your YouTube questions are. So if you want to get in on that, we will be doing that here in just a little bit, most likely, as long as we don't have any tech hang-ups. But that is one bonus from doing it from here. Let's see here. Let me put it right here. Discord. I'm adding it to the description right now. And there's like a cool system that they've got worked out as well for basically getting people into the Discord in the order that they come into the Discord and that sort of thing, to make sure that, if you've been waiting for a little bit, that you get your, oh, the form isn't working. Oh, okay. Let me double check it here on my end. It is. I've got 14 responses. It might have just been the link that I dropped in there. Actually, thank you, D. It might have been the one that I dropped in there. You're saying, yeah, because I have 15 responses in there now. Okay, we got more. Form doesn't work. So form not working for anybody. Okay, I will drop it. Yeah, because it didn't change in the description. Just give me a heads up here really quick. Let me know. Worked for me. Just worked for me. Nope, not for me, not for me. Huh, interesting. Okay, are you clicking it from the chat, or are you clicking it from the description? If you click it from the description, it should work. I might have pasted I might have left a character out or something like that in the chat here when I was doing it there. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go right into the form, and then I'll come back to if the form is working or not here. After that, say the form works for me, in the description says Vigard. Okay, so we got some feedback saying it does work, some other people saying it doesn't. So I'm guessing it's the one that is that's in the chat there. Okay, so our very first question. I just want to say that I didn't think we were going live, but happy to be live here right now. So thank you everybody for hanging out, for being patient while I was coming over here, while I was transferring the location so that we can make sure to go live. So Hailstorm Hero. The question is, they've been on YouTube for 2 years. They make their stuff on an Android. They make gaming content. Says that the goal of the channel is fun, practice, and eventually moolah. Money, money, money. Says, what time/days of the week are best in your experience to post new videos? Not all channels have the same exact situation there. What you want to think about, and this applies to everybody, what you want to think about is you want to think about the people that you're trying to reach. What do they do? For example, if you're trying to reach younger folks, then in that particular situation, like say younger folks that are above 13, if you're trying to reach those folks, but let's say they are still school age, then you might want to go pretty early so that they can check out your videos before they, while they're waiting for the bus, or, while they are sitting there waiting for class to start, that kind of stuff. If you are targeting people that are a little bit more mature, then in that situation, then, you might want to post later in the evening or earlier while they are, messing around. But probably a majority of those people are probably scurrying around like crazy, just trying to make it to work. So earlier in the morning might not be the best thing for them. But what you want to do, a really good way to identify this is to look at your real-time statistics inside of your YouTube channel and start tracking over the course of a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Start tracking when people are most active on your YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see, okay, these are the spikes when people are most active. So what you want to do is you want to start uploading right before that, like right as that starts lifting before it gets to the peak, you want to make sure that you are uploading at that time so that you can kind of ride that wave, right? You're surfing, right? So that's what you want to do. Yeah, and exactly what subscribe right here says is I've always thought some hours before peaks in analytics is a good idea. Nailed it right there. And that is why subscribe has a check mark next to their name, right? They use the analytics, they figure it out, and they get it done. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, 600,000. Yeah, that's why you have a lot of subscribers on your YouTube channel. So, but the idea there is basically to where you want to catch your audience as they're coming online, right? Because typically, you know, there's going to be people looking from all over the planet looking at your stuff, depending on the language that you're putting content out in. But if you're doing English language content, there's going to be people that are looking at your stuff from all over the world. But what you want to do is you want to look at the times when it's swelling, right? When it's just starting to climb, you publish there so that you can ride it. So as all those people are coming online, then you can make sure to embrace all those people with new content, show them that new stuff that you have to offer them. Next up on the list, we have Andy HHHDX. Man, if I was trying to tell somebody about your channel, if I left out one H, you're going to miss the opportunity to get a new person to your YouTube channel. Let's see here. They've been on YouTube for 15 months. And the question, this is a long one, so brace yourself, says, I have been offered a sponsor from a company that I've never heard of. They want me to put a small video at the start of my videos promoting their software, and they've said that I can receive $800. The video must be a minimum of 30 seconds, and this would play before I begin my own video. I've emailed them for more information on what they expected and how many future videos do they expect me to promote their software. I'm awaiting a response. I've had companies give me free products to review on the channel, but never a sponsorship deal. As I have no experience with this, I'm not jumping into it with the chance of getting stung. Do you have any advice on sponsorships and if what I have been offered sounds like a fair deal? What you've been offered does sound like a deal without question. In terms of if it's fair, that comes down to what it is that you personally think is fair for the effort that you are putting into what it is that you're doing. In terms of them giving you money to do it and you're worried about getting burned, make sure that you get a contract signed before you do that so that you know exactly what it is that you need to do for them. They know exactly what it is that they need to do for you in terms of compensation. Make sure you get that in writing from them before you do any type of deal. Keep in mind, in the event that you do get stung, in the event that they don't pay you for some reason or something like that, then one thing that you can do is you can just go right into your YouTube account and they have the built-in editor and you can just chop them out, right? So they don't get much juice. Now, if you were able to send them a lot of traffic before that happens, then you're going to get stung, but you won't be able to actually, or you can avoid keeping them in there for a long period of time. Now, a couple things that I would also recommend: research the company. Right? Research the company. Post on places like Reddit, for example. The ones that have a lot of people on them, post there and see if anybody has worked with them or gotten the same thing. Make sure that they have some type of positive history so that you can make sure that you're not going to get burned from that particular situation. But in a lot of cases, you're probably going to be okay. If you're going to have that interaction of, hey, I'm putting this ad together for you, this bumper ad, I'm putting it in the video and so on, you'll probably be okay. But one thing that I also want you to keep in mind, and everybody keep this in mind, when you are getting approached by people, in a lot of cases, you can turn one deal into an extended deal, right? So you can take that one conversation, because remember, they're reaching out to you to have you put their stuff on your YouTube channel, right? So because of that, one thing that you can do is you can say, okay, well, this is my fee for one video. But if you want to do a video a month for the next 6 months, or you want to do a video a year or a month for the next 12 months, or you want to do 3 videos or 4 videos, I also have, like these 2 other packages that you can choose from to where you can actually get more at a little bit of a discount. So in that situation, what you do is you end up getting a larger sum overall, and then they get a discount for basically, working with you over and over again through the different videos that you're putting out. So I would really recommend that you give that a shot for everybody here. I really recommend that you give that a shot if you don't take that approach already, because you would be surprised at the amount of people that are like, yeah, why wouldn't I? You're giving me a deal. Why wouldn't I do more with you instead of just this one video? Because we're obviously trying to get you on board with what it is that we're doing to promote our stuff. So try to make that one deal an extended deal, and just research the company first. Make sure that, they're all good and on the up and all of that stuff. And then you'll be, you should be okay. All right. So next up on our list, we've got Okay, we had Andy already, so we got you taken care of there, Andy. Next up, we've got Chad B. What's up, Chad B? When I see Chad B, it makes me like want to go like this and be like, hey, what's up? I'm Chad B. Maybe I should take my glasses off, put on some shades. I don't know why it makes me feel that way, Chad, if you happen to still be in here, but that's, it makes me feel that way. Okay, so I started with 3 subscribers in October 2019, so you're new to YouTube. And as of today, I have 169. Nice work. I make it a point to try to improve on each video. You will do well. If you keep doing that over and over again, just as a quick sidebar, you will do well. I took your advice from the last week's Q&A and I applied it to my latest video, and it appeared to have worked. I gained 9 subs after uploading, but after the first 24 hours of being published, the momentum fizzled. Does the algorithm give you a time limit to platform or to perform? So basically, you can have videos that you publish, and after you, hey, Fox and the cutest dog in the West, what is up? Flashing or playing? What is going on? But basically, like when you are when you're publishing videos to YouTube, of course, that first 24 hours, the first 48 and 72, and then the first 7 days, all of those are extremely important. However, just because a video goes up and then it kind of levels out doesn't mean that it won't pick back up later in the future. But if your video does go up and it tanks in terms of it's just not performing like it should, then of course YouTube is going to demote that video and they're not going to show that video because there's so much content on YouTube. There's no reason for them to show a video that doesn't perform. And that is a really important thing to make sure that everybody keeps in mind. If your videos don't perform, if audiences don't like your stuff, if they don't click on your thumbnails, they're not clicking on your titles, they're not watching your videos for a fair amount of time, then YouTube is going to demote those because they have so much good high-performing content to choose from. You have to make sure that you're coming in, hey, I'm coming to play for, the particular type of content that you make so that you can make sure that your content is being shown to the people that are needing to see it or that YouTube thinks should see that content. Richie Dalton in the house. What is up, my man? Nice to see you here. I got a friend actually that's heading to Vietnam. I don't know if you're still there, but I got a friend of mine. I was talking to him tonight. Dee and I were talking to him tonight at Starbucks. He's actually getting ready to head to Vietnam, hang out there for a few months. King Bard, been on YouTube for 3 years. They do gaming and live streams. The goal of the channel is to go full time. Says, good morning, guys. Well, we'll just say me since Dee isn't here. But Dee, this is for you too, because I know you're in the chat. So he says, good morning to you too, Dee. I just started live streaming on YouTube, and I was wondering if I should keep my vids up after the fact that people watch, or should I make smaller videos out of them to upload through the week? Your call. I would actually need a lot more information to really give you some, to say, hey, this is exactly what you should do. I definitely need some more info for that. But here's some things to consider. We'll do it this way. So when you are live streaming on YouTube, you also want to think about the replay value. So if the replay value isn't there, or the live stream experience isn't what your audience or the people that YouTube is showing your content to, the live stream experience isn't what they typically get from you, then, or what they typically respond to compared to the video content, then in that situation, you might want to unlist the videos so that the people that are live, they get to have that experience with you, but then afterwards you can unlist it so that it's not getting suggested to people. And then if you wanted to, sure, you could cut up some of them and, distribute them throughout the week if you would want. One thing that I really recommend that you do in that situation is that you experiment. So try it once, right? Try it once and see what happens. Like for all of us, it's there's the, hey, what should I do? And then there's the, I'm going to try this and see if it works. The more that you say, I'm going to try this and see if it works. And then if it does, say, or if it doesn't, say, let me try it one more time and see if it works. So let me try it, but just a little bit differently and see if it works. Or let me try it again if it does work and see if it continues to work. That's really the best way to really get a handle and really understand what it is that your audience responds to by just testing. Because I can say, yeah, absolutely, give that a shot, break them up into, 3 pieces of content per week, your live streams, but your audience might be like, you know what, we actually want normal video content and not like repurposed live stream content, right? So it's important to make sure that you're testing stuff. Thank you for the super chat there. The Gaming Cafe says, been watching your stuff lately. It's been a big help and enjoyable. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you are finding value in the content on the channel. It's always good to get that kind of feedback. Fox, the cutest dog in the West, says, how to get watch time up. I just put out a video, literally the last video on my channel. Go watch it. That'll tell you how to get more views coming into your channel, which ultimately will get your watch time up. If you're talking about your duration of your videos. Pay really close attention to your audience retention. Pay really close attention to your audience retention. Interesting. Yeah, we should make a song about that. But anyway, with the audience retention, just pay really close attention to your audience retention and see if you can start noticing patterns on what people do and do not respond to on there. That will help you make videos that your audience will respond to better. All right. Can you keep the live up and make cuts from the live streams of highlights? Sure, you can do it. You can absolutely do that, flash in your pan. But again, it's a good idea to make sure that you're testing it with your audience to see how they respond to it. All right. Next up on our list, we have Cortzo's Games, League of Legends guides. They do gaming content as well. Goal of the channel is educational content about League of Legends. What is your question? I always rank very high in search. I have decent view to subscriber ratio, but I am not getting suggested as much as I would like. What could be the reason? My hypothesis is that I have a too low audience retention. I have an average of 30% of the video, but my videos are long, so it's like 7 minutes on average. How does YouTube measure audience retention? Is it by percentile or actual minutes watched? Could it be my descriptions are too messy and YouTube doesn't trust them? Thanks, love your content. Thank you for loving my content. I appreciate it. So basically, when it comes to YouTube trusting your descriptions, as long as you're not putting like shady links down there, then you're going to be okay. However, make sure that you are filling your descriptions out. Make sure that you are writing your. I mean, of course, you're writing your titles. What am I talking about? But make sure you are filling out your descriptions. But in terms of why you're not getting suggested, typically that comes down to how long people are watching your videos, how much they're engaging in your content, and at the very front, the very most important, I should say, comes down to how much people are actually clicking on your thumbnails and titles compared to the other options that people have to click on the pages that you are being suggested on, or the videos that you're being suggested next to. So the real way to slide in there is to make sure that people are clicking on your stuff at a high rate. So what you can do is you can actually go in, when you're looking at your click-through rate on your videos, you can actually go in and you can see in your traffic sources for each video, you can see the click-through rate for each traffic source. Now, typically suggested is lower than normal, or not normal, but typically suggested is a lower click-through rate. However, what you can do is you can start saying, okay, these videos here, right? Like these 3 videos or 5 videos or 50 videos that I have, these get a lot more suggested traffic than the other videos on my channel. So let me figure out why. And one of the things you can do in that situation is you can go and you can look at traffic sources and you can say, look at this. I'm getting a higher click-through rate on these suggested ones compared to the other ones, compared to the impressions that I'm getting. I'm also getting more watch time from suggestions from these particular videos that are getting a lot of suggested traffic and things like that. So if you go into your analytics, you start breaking things down by traffic source, you can really start to get a deeper understanding of how people are responding to your content when it's placed in front of them in different places on YouTube. Hopefully that answered your question in a long-winded way. Patman27 News says that they upload as many times as I can. They've been on YouTube since 2 years in February. They do it for fun, for a hobby. Says, what do you recommend for microphones and setups? Fantastic question. You know what? I wish Dee was here because I would love to get this NDI thing going so I could actually show you like my setup and I could really give you some like good recommendations here. How could I do this? Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this really quick. I don't think that way will work. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do really quick, because I'm actually going to really answer this question in like a really good way. I'm going to see if I can get my phone connected. NDI. See if I can get my phone connected here so I can wirelessly show you like my microphone setups, like my different setups, and explain why I use the stuff that I use in the particular situations that I use them in. So this is going to be like an on-the-fly studio tour, maybe possibly, if I can get it all connected and working out here. D, if you're still in here, what is the app that you use for this? I know I'm rarely D-less. I don't even know what to do. Like, as you can see, this like isn't switching around a lot. Like all of that stuff, it's not moving around a lot. I like don't even know what to do. Let's see here. D, New Tech NDI. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you, D. So I'm looking for New Tech NDI. Okay, NDI audio, NDI that. New Tech, how's that spelled? New tech NDI. Okay. Yeah, it's not coming up here in my eye thing. So let me see if NDI HX camera, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we won't do that. Sounded good. Sounded like a good idea at the time. So maybe we're not going to do that after all. So here's the deal. With the microphones and choosing the right microphones and choosing the right stuff to use for your particular setup. A tad bit of context would be good. Like, I don't know exactly, because you are doing this as a hobby, you're updating anytime you can, but you're doing news. I don't know if you're doing news to where you're like on camera and you don't want people to see the mic, or if you don't mind people seeing the mic like this. Okay, one quick thing here. Just Wi-Fi cam, maybe? No. Let me try this. All right, I think I might have something here. Allow camera, allow microphone. All right, yeah, we might be getting this worked out here. I'm not sure, but we're gonna try. And you're gonna see this like happen like right here live if it ends up happening. We will see. I think this would come under a video capture device, maybe. I don't know. Add new source instead. Yeah, I'm trying this on the fly here, and I'm just seeing how this works out. Do we got it? Do we got it? Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay, yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Spit rate done. Okay, yeah, I'm all over the place here. We're not even gonna try, so we're just gonna let that go. Oh, great! What did I do? Okay, there we go. All right, see what happens. See what happens when I'm doing this solo. Oh, I know why I'm not even connected to Wi-Fi here. There we go. I bet that might help. Okay, anyway, I'm still not gonna do it. All right. So basically, when it comes to microphones, here's the deal. I do have somewhere. Let me switch to scene mode just so I don't end up throwing this stuff on you. So we're going to do it this way, and it's going to be a really horrible way to do it. And it's not going to work either. Yeah, so never mind. Here's the deal with the microphone thing. Okay, so what you want to do is if you are doing it to where you are going to be off camera, then in that situation, what you want to do with your microphone is you want to get something that you can put just out of frame, right? So when I'm sitting here and I have this behind me, or if I'm standing, in both of those situations, the microphone literally, like if I'm here, I can touch the camera in almost both situations. And the microphone is literally like right here. I can reach up. I could go on my tippy toes and hit it with the top of my head. But the idea is to have the camera close to you, as close to you as possible. So what you do in that situation is you get something called a shotgun microphone. You can get these from Rode. You can get them from Deity. You can get them from Audio Technica. A bunch of different companies make them. But the idea is that you want to get a shotgun microphone so that it picks you up from a distance. Now, with those, you run those through an audio interface of some kind. Some of them let you go directly into the camera, like the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, or the Rode VideoMic Pro will actually let you plug directly into your camera, and you can do it that way. Now, if you're going with something like this, let's say that you're gaming and you're going with something like this, then you need to get a microphone. And in some cases, you can just get the microphone like a podcaster, and that is a USB version, and it plugs directly in to your computer. So you don't have to do anything weird, buy extra equipment or anything. In other cases, depending on what it is that you're trying to do with the audio, you might need to get an audio interface of some kind. For that, you can use something like a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. For my setup right here, I have a Rode Procaster that I'm using now for my interface, just so I can like adjust the volume, play sound effects, like if I tell a joke, that kind of stuff. But like depending on the different interfaces that you get and the different stuff that you're using, it allows you to do different things. So the right microphones to use, or the microphone setup, really comes down to what it is that you are trying to, the type of content that you're trying to make. You can also use lavalier microphones that plug directly just into like its own little recorder. And with that, then you basically sync that up in post. And what I mean by that is you basically sync it up once you get it into the computer. A little bit more to the workflow there, but it gets the job done. Justin TV is our next question. Justin TV says that they do mobile gaming. The goal of the channel is to grow my community just like Dean Nimmin and Nick Nimmin. How to grow subscribers and views doing mobile gaming. I've practiced a thumbnail and title, but I don't know if it's something else I'm doing wrong. Help me out, my brother. Okay, so here's the thing, Justin TV. If you are trying to get this stuff going, I'm actually going to look at your channel here really quick, and I just want to see what it is that you got. Also, really quick, let me know if that call-in thing worked in the video description. So, so right here with this, come on, open up for me, Justin TV's YouTube channel. Okay, so right now you just have a handful of videos. Your thumbnails are just being like straight up with you because you asked, and I would be a jerk if I wasn't straight up with you. You definitely need to work on your thumbnails, my man. Without question, you need to work on your thumbnails. So I would do that first. D has a bunch of videos on how to help, basically helping you with thumbnails. I would definitely spend some time on your thumbnails. You also need to work on your titles as well. Those are things that I would start with right now. Also make sure that you actually fill out your video descriptions, because right now I just see like a doc, like a Google Doc, right? Or a spreadsheet doc that's in all of your descriptions. Like actually fill it out a little bit. Let people know what is up in the video, and also let YouTube know what is up in the video as well. Okay, next up on our list here is I post swords. It's cool. That's cool. So you're like sharpening your sword, right? Sharpening your sword with every video you post. See what I did there? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I Post Swords says that they do education and history content. They do it as a hobby. And the question is, in a small niche, how do you branch out to a wider audience and gain some mass market appeal without making content outside of your channel's focus? Well, that's the thing, right? If you're trying to gain mass market appeal, but it's outside of your channel's focus, then you're trying to reach a different type of people, right? You're trying to reach a different type of viewer. So in that situation, you might have to completely change what it is that you're doing if you are trying to go more broad. Now, with that, you can say, okay, instead of, in your case, you're on education and history. So let's say that you are currently targeting history buffs. And with history buffs, you are giving them like really detailed information on history so that you can educate them on different things that happen in history. So in that situation, what you can do to try to branch out a little bit is, as part of your content strategy, you can start doing some like top 10 videos, or when events happen, right? Like this whole issue that we just had, that Americans had with Iran. In situations like that, you can do, historically, why would, this country do better and this country in a conflict? Or what are the other times that, these individual countries have had conflicts with each other, or nearby countries, or similar conflicts, or something like that, so that you can start trying to branch out, and you're hopping on trends in that situation too, in order to try to, have YouTube put you in front of a group of different people that might be interested in those particular topics that are hot at the time. And if they're just like simple, easy, top 5, top 10 list type of content, they're just listicles, then in that situation, that's going to give you the opportunity to get in front of people that are, that can consume some lighter content that isn't as, information dense, so to speak. That's what I would do. Next up, we've got Caspa Gaming. Caspa Gaming has been on YouTube for a year. They do gaming. The goal of the channel is to blow up. I need like a explosion thing here. Advice on skyrocketing in subs and views. I feel like I have insane potential. Here's the thing, Caspa Gaming, you might have insane potential. So if you're feeling that way, embrace it, but you still have to make sure that you're serving the viewers that are coming into your YouTube channel. If you want to blow up, you need to find a way that you can stand out. You need to find a way to get your videos in front of people. And you need to be able to keep people watching and interacting with what it is that you're doing. Clicking, watching, interacting with what it is that you're doing. So if your goal is to blow up because you feel that you have potential, what you need to do is you need to get really fine-tuned into the additional stuff that comes with YouTube. And that means if you're making videos on stuff that you're passionate about, you have to really dig into some of the stuff that you're not that passionate about, which is your stats, most likely. And in that situation, you're digging into your stats. If you're not passionate about it, you still need to learn it so that you can figure out, hey, my audience is responding to this. When I make titles like this, people respond more. When I make videos like this or thumbnails like this, people respond more. When I do these particular things in my videos, people watch for a longer period of time. When I don't do those things, people leave. When I recommend a video on my end screen and I point to it and I tell people to watch it, people actually go and they watch it. When I, do that kind of stuff, then it works or it doesn't work. So you can start really identifying how your audience, the people that are watching your content, the people that YouTube is showing your stuff to, you can identify how every piece of how they respond to what it is that you're doing so that you can start making those decisions. Little things make a big difference. For example, for a client, we were just going through their stuff recently. And if you just do something simple, like sort by the videos that have performed the best on the channel right out of the gate, we found that she was multiple images of her. The thumbnails, all of her top videos had multiple images of her in them, not just one image, multiple images of her, with the exception of one, which was an outlier. But every single video on the channel that was a high performer, over 1 million views, had multiple shots of her in there. So little things like that. It was multiple shots and it was fashion content. So, little things like that can make a really big difference on you blowing up your channel or not, and you getting more traction and the audience responding more with every piece of content that you do. D says he's listening to some epic music while I talk. It sounds so intense. Oh, nice. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I should actually go into Epidemic Sound, play some epic music myself. Okay, next up on our list, we have Launchpad Astronomy. Christian Reddy in the house. What's up, dude? Says, been on YouTube for 2 years. Astronomy. Goal of the channel is education. Says, my videos use a lot of B-roll images and illustrations, and I'm starting to forget where the files are on my computer. I was wondering, how do you go about organizing all of your B-roll, etc., for use in future videos? Do you use a folder system on your hard drive or a media browser like Adobe Bridge? Any tips or suggestions are most welcome. So what I do personally is probably not the most efficient way to do it, but if I have stuff that I know I'm going to use over and over again, then I'll have that in its own area, in its own folder. But if it's something that I know, well, I might use this again, but most likely it's just going to be in this video or maybe in like a couple of videos, but I'll know where to go for it. Then in that situation, like I make all of my folders self-contained. So the videos themselves, basically it starts at YouTube, and then inside of YouTube it has my name, so I know that it's my personal channel, and then inside of there it's a list of videos, and then once you click into the videos, then you see let's see here, you see the actual file name, you see graphics, you see music, you see B-roll, you see videos, and I think that's it. Maybe there's meta in there too for metadata. But yeah, I think that's it. But basically, like I make each of them self-contained in their own folder. That's how I personally do it. But if you are going to do something like that, another thing that you can do, just for efficiency's sake, if you do dump them all into one folder, is just get like an external hard drive or something, make sure to back it up, but get an external hard drive of some kind, dump them in there. But for the actual B-roll files themselves that you think that you're going to use, instead of just keeping the actual file name from the site, go in there and literally tag them, build your own tag system, so that you can say, okay, in your case, so this one would be like sun, moon, Andromeda, like whatever the specific tags are. And then for the B-roll clips themselves, then just tag each one of them, because it doesn't have to be an actual file name. Just do like sun hyphen moon hyphen Andromeda, or however it would break down for how you would organize it. And then that way you can just go into the folder, search for, okay, I need some images, or I need some B-roll of moon. So I'm going to type in moon, and then all of those will show up in the folder, and then you can take your pick on which ones to use. So that would be one option for you in that particular situation. But I personally don't do it that way, but that would definitely be one way that you could do that in terms of organizing it out. Okay, next up on our list, we have, what do we have? All right, make sure you share this out on Twitter too if you haven't yet. And if you're enjoying the stream, if you're learning anything here, if you're learning anything at all from the stuff that I'm spewing out of my mouth right now, give me a thumbs up. That's how I gauge you know, how you are digging these live streams. So make sure you give this a thumbs up if you have not already. I would appreciate it. Helps me know if I'm doing a good job. I base my self-worth on how many likes I get on YouTube. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm not kidding about giving me a thumbs up. I'm just kidding about basing my self-worth. I am solo today, Chiba Gaming. Yeah, we had some streaming issues. What's up, Date? What's up, dude? We had some internet problems at the studio, so here I sit by my lonesome, hanging out by my lonesome. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it, man. Okay, so next up on our list, we have Family Funhouse. Family Funhouse is on YouTube coming up on a year. They have a family channel / vlog. They do entertainment. Question is, we recently took a huge pay cut due to the new changes on YouTube. We are at 3,770 subscribers and gaining about 30 to 40 subs a day. What can we do to increase our income? We've created merch, but no one seems interested in that at this time. Okay, if you are doing anything on YouTube, one of the things that you can do is affiliate marketing. And by affiliate marketing, your approach would be a tad different than somebody that was making help type content or tutorials or something like that, if that's not the stuff that you're doing. But one thing that you can do is if you highlight specific things in your videos from time to time, like I see here, you guys are talking about villains, Revenge of the Doll Maker, scary video, that kind of stuff. So one thing you could do in that situation is maybe try to find like a streaming service that has an affiliate program, or if you talk about things here, like you have one for Christmas, you know, in that situation, then you could make, you could basically highlight a specific product in your video, something that would make sense for your audience, and let them know that you have a link for it in the description. Now keep in mind, if you're, whoa, it looks like I have something that disappeared here. Okay, so like in that situation, you want to keep in mind the viewer intent. And what I mean by that is your conversions on that are probably going to be relatively low because since it's going to be the people that are coming into that video, they're not expecting or looking to actually purchase or buy anything. So because of that, when they do go to your channel and they do see that you have something, hold on really quick, I'm trying to fix this on the fly, but they do see that you have something that is available, then what can happen in that situation is they end up, you know, they can end up purchasing it. But if they come in and they have the intent, like review videos and stuff, your conversions are higher. But in situations where you don't have that happening, then you are, oh, it's funny, it didn't even transition over. No wonder it wasn't showing up. Look at that. That's what I get for rolling in studio mode. Let me go back to the normal good old fashioned mode. I was like switching over here and nothing's happening on your end because I had it in studio mode. So out of practice. So out of practice. Shame on me. But yeah, in terms of generating more income from your channel, doing stuff with affiliates and just be creative with it, right? Maybe you are doing something with your kids and then you start talking about, you know, oh yeah, we have this, you know, power bank and it's a really, you know, awesome power bank. You know, this actually lasts us a lot longer than most power banks do. You know what? I'll actually put a link in the description to this because it's so awesome. You should, you know, go and check it out, but be legitimate, you know, don't just make stuff up. But, you know, if you have products that you actually use, since you're doing just random vlog type of content, since you have stuff that you do use on a regular basis, bring it to people's attention. Let them know that you have it. Sign up with Amazon's program or Walmart's program or, you know, any affiliate program that you would like that would have those products that you would feature, and then start promoting those as an affiliate here and there throughout the content that you have. Other things that you can do as well. I didn't actually look at the size of your channel yet or how many views that you're getting. But another thing that you can do also is you can try to do like sponsorships and that sort of thing. Requires more work, would require you to like reach out and, you know, do that sort of things to have basically like okay, so you got 3,000 subscribers. Yeah. So basically that would require you to, you know, have like a development side of your YouTube channel, which is like, okay, hey, today is business day and we sit down. Today's the day that we look for people to try to work with, the day that we send out the emails for what it is that we're doing and all of that. You would have that like biz dev day. And during that day would be when you would try to reach out to sponsors and try to get them, you know, on board with some plans that you have for your YouTube channel. So those are some other things that you could do. All right, next up. Okay, so what's this? Pat Wallace says, I love Vistaprint, QuickBooks, etc. And so I went and asked if they had a referral program, got those links and used them into my description. That's what I'm talking about right there. And for a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are leaving a lot of money on the table, Pat, because they are they are, you know, they're making this content, they're putting this content out on a regular basis, and they are not, you know, they're not monetizing their content in a way that they could be, and they're missing out on, you know, a lot of additional income, because some people will see that and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, you know, like I put some links in my description once, and I only got like a few clicks on them, but they don't think of it as, okay, well, if I just keep doing that over a bunch of videos, or maybe from time to time I make a video that's specific about a thing, and then I try to send some traffic that way. It's really, really, really sad to see in some cases, especially tech, that people aren't using the affiliate stuff in order to bring attention to products that their audience could actually use and probably want, and they would just basically hop in the middle of the transaction. Keep that in mind if you're not doing that right now. Okay, next up on our list, we've got Conjuring Rock. Conjuring Rock says they've been on YouTube for almost a year, shy of a month. They do all season camping and fishing. Very cool. Encourage others to get outdoors as the hobby of the channel, or the purpose of the channel. Very cool. I need to get outdoors myself more. I actually went, and we have a mountain over here, right behind my place actually. And I went out there yesterday with my girlfriend. We hiked up. There's basically like a part where you park, and then we hiked up for quite a bit to actually get to the peak. The entire time I've lived here, never actually went to the peak. So we walked up, and I was so let down that when we actually got to the peak, all that was there was a sign. No view, just a sign. D, I'm sure you would appreciate that. We literally walked for like 25 minutes to get up to this sign. All it was a sign right in the middle of the woods, no view, nothing. Yeah, it's horrible. Okay, so I mean, the hanging out was cool, walking was cool, but yeah, it was. I was like, man, kind of like going up to Doy Intanon, same idea. Okay, next up we've got Diego Waisusa Mocadas. Hope I said that right. Type of channels, pets. They do it for hobby and awareness. How do you know if you're doing right or bad when a channel is so new? Basically, this comes down to your brain. If you are trying to, oh, you know what? I didn't actually answer the last question, but let me answer this one, then I'll go back. So if you are trying to improve with every video that you're putting out, and you're digging in your stats, trying to figure out what people are liking and not liking, or you're just saying, hey, if you're not even to that point yet, and you're like, hey, you know what? Let me just try to make my video look better, or sound better, or let me get my pacing better, or let me get my editing a little bit tighter in this next video, then you're on the right path, right? It doesn't always come down to just judging if you're doing good or bad on, you know, hey, am I getting any views yet? Of course you want to get views, but I'm just saying, in that process when you're just getting started, just saying, hey, I'm going to try to do better than I did in the last video. I'm going to try to make it a better experience for whoever ends up watching this. I'm going to try to make it better. In that situation, then that's how you ultimately end up doing better on YouTube. Roberto Blake in the house. What is up, man? Zach Talks Tech in the house. What is up, dude? Rock Climbing Grandma. Nice to see you here. She wants to see Nimmin hiking videos. They're kind of sad. It's basically me sweating and like complaining about how long of a walk it is. It's kind of like this. This is a reenactment, of course, because I'm not out in the middle of the woods. But the reenactment goes something like this. Oh my gosh, how long do we have to? How much longer do we have to get to this thing? Hold on, let me check Google Maps and at least see what it is that we're gonna see when we get up here. Oh my gosh, I have 3G. Really? My phone's not loading. Oh, no map. Are you kidding me? Oh, great. I completely lost signal. I don't have any signal. Oh, great. How long is this going to take us to get up here? I hope this is cool. I hope there's an awesome view up here. Oh, no, there's not a view. Oh, okay. Well, you know, we came up here anyway. Let me set up my camera so that I can get some VR footage while we're here. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. I left my memory card at home. I set it right next to it so I would grab it on the way out, but I forgot. We drove all the way up here, walked all this way, and I completely forgot my memory card too. That's kind of what the hiking trip was like. So that's kind of like a reenactment, but that was pretty much, you know, in a nutshell. In a nutshell, that's kind of how it went down. Oh, goodness. So let's see here. Roberto said something here, but the chat just went, whew, so I missed it. Said if you're new, you should be focused on improving and being consistent. Absolutely. Getting that workflow together, getting that grind together. D saying, can we mod Shroom 2020? You know, kind of want to be honest. But I don't know what that channel is, so I can't say. I'd have to investigate. Would definitely have to investigate. Okay, so next up on the list we have, let's see here, back on the other one was about all-season camping and fishing. It says, I try to keep a regular release date on Saturday for my regular outdoor adventures. I want to start releasing tutorials, but I don't want to release them in place of my outdoor adventures. I'm worried that when I release the tutorial videos, it will affect the performance of the most recent adventure we released. What would be a good strategy for trying to get some evergreen content into the channel without interrupting my regular uploads performance? Would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, if you are trying to get some additional content out, hold on. I'm worried that when I release tutorial videos, it will affect performance of the most recent adventure we released. Okay, so here's the thing. Videos are their own containers. As long as people keep responding to that original one, of course, after that initial 7-day period is going, it may or may not kind of fall off a little bit, or it may just keep going and skyrocket, or however it ends up going based on how it performs. But when you release that new piece of content, if people respond to that as well, then you are still winning, right? So what I would do in your situation, if you do have some things, hey, what's up, doing it with Jason? Nice to see you in here, my man. If you are Tracy Ann Garvey Frey, what is up? Nice to see you. If you are, if you already have viewers coming into your stuff on a regular basis, experiment. That's the best thing that you can do. It's the best thing anybody can do with their channel is when you have those ideas and you're thinking to yourself, man, I wonder how people would dig this. I don't know. I'm afraid to do it because it might mess up something. Just try it, right? Just try it. Sometimes you're gonna put out videos. People are gonna be like, wow, this is great. Other times you're gonna put out videos and people are not gonna respond at all. And you're gonna be like, oh boy, I'm not gonna do that one again, right? But that's how you really learn and get really super tuned in to what it is that your viewers respond to, or the audience that YouTube is showing your content to, what it is that they respond to. Nice slurpy drink of coffee there. So real quick, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you, thanks to the FTC. I have to say this a bunch of times. This stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. And really, I'd be saying it a lot anyway, because it's an awesome tool. But you can install it for free for yourself at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. You'll definitely want to upgrade as well for some additional features. But just to get in there, get started, see how it is that you like it and all that stuff, definitely check out TubeBuddy when you do get the chance. Because 1, they're awesome. 2, they're a sponsor of the show. 3, it will help you with every aspect of your YouTube channel. So make sure you get TubeBuddy in if you don't have it there yet. All right. So Anjinka Mandive says that they see D in the shadow back there. Yeah, he's actually hiding right here inside of this. Yeah, D's hiding there inside of the Stormtrooper helmet, as usual. Magic Prepper saying TubeBuddy made my channel 100 times better. Me too. You know, TubeBuddy was a game changer for me. It made my workflow so much faster, made it easier to find stuff, made it easier to come up with video ideas, all that stuff. I absolutely love TubeBuddy. Says Susie Valentine Realtor, says she's brewing coffee now. I'm drinking coffee right now myself. So cheers, enjoy your morning coffee. Anybody, give me a hashtag coffee. Anybody here that is drinking coffee right now, having their morning coffee, give me a hashtag coffee. I just want to know. And tea works too. Rock climbing Graham all. So coffee or tea. If you're having that morning beverage, let me know what you're drinking. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot. Oh yeah, look at all that coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Ooh, beautiful. Dr. Pepper for breakfast? Really? Holy moly. Tea 100%. Uh-oh. Looks like we might have some like tea coffee wars going on. Smoothie? That's what I'm talking about, George. All right, a lot of good stuff here. Nice. Nothing, just hanging out. That's cool too. All right. Comments over coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. The Gaming Cafe says coffee. Coffee's a huge part of my channel. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you're in good company. Because I'm a coffee drinker. Apparently, we've got a lot of other coffee drinkers here. And I actually have a podcast called Comments Over Coffee. Typically, I've got a little graphic that would come up when I say that. But in this situation, I do not. But if you look for Comments Over Coffee on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, then you will get my podcast where you can learn about YouTube over a cup of coffee. That wasn't planned, by the way, when I was asking about the coffee. I swear I was just taking a drink of coffee and I just wanted some feedback. That just ended up working out that way with that game super chat. All right, next up on the list. We've got, did we answer this one? Yes, we did. We answered that next one too. So we will keep on trucking, keep on moving forward, keep the ball rolling, moving forward, going forward. Magic Prepper says, been on YouTube for 9 months. Channel type is prepping and survival. The purpose of the channel is brand awareness as a business platform. The question is, I'm currently moving in my typical studio backdrop and everything else has to change. Is this the time to find a bigger and better look for my video, or would you try to keep everything as familiar as possible for the audience? Thank you. It's a tough one, really tough one. So I've been looking around at places to possibly move to as well. And that's another thing that I also think about. I'm like, okay, well, if I move, I'm definitely rolling with the blue, and I'm definitely, Alexa, turn on filler.
Okay.
There we go. But basically, I'm in the same thing where I'm like, okay, where's the, like, what will I take with me in terms of how will I recreate what this looks like in the background? But at the end of the day, I really don't think, as long as you're still giving the information, that people will care. So I've tested this sit down setup compared to the stand up setup. And in terms of like view counts, things like that, overall, I have a higher view count on the stand-up stuff, just because I have more videos like that. People don't tend to watch as long on my stand-up stuff as they do on my sit-down stuff for some reason, but I still love the stand-up stuff because I just like making videos better that way. So if I was smart, I would always make videos sitting down, but I just like the energy of the stand-up stuff, and I have more fun when I do it that way. So I'm sorry. But what you'll notice is you'll be able to notice, little tiny differences that one set might make over another one. At the end of the day, the difference probably isn't going to be big enough to be that big of a deal unless it's something drastic and it doesn't make sense to the people that are watching it. For example, you're like an outdoors channel, you're doing prepping and survival. So if you started doing it in like a kid's bedroom, for example, they'd be like, this is kind of weird. He's doing this in like a bedroom, like a kid's bedroom. You know what I mean? To where it just wouldn't be right for that audience. But really at the end of the day, as long as it still matches the branding that you have and how you want to present yourself and the content and all of that stuff, I think you'll be fine. I'm always a fan of, even though I like to stick with certain elements, I'm always a fan of like upgrading just to make yourself feel good too. Like for me, I keep with the blue thing, but like when I did this whole setup here, I was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to start making videos over here and, try to make this kind of look cool a little bit and all that. And I looked at it kind of like it was an upgrade from the stand-up stuff, and it just made me feel good when I was making content. So, that's another factor that you want to keep in mind as well. But yeah, give it a shot on, trying to upgrade a little bit. If you're like, you know what, it's time to upgrade. I'm bored with that other one and all that stuff. Like just do it. Like if it's something that you want to do, the audience, if they dig your content, they're going to keep watching it anyway. And the comparison will probably be so small in terms of the difference one makes over the other. The comparison's probably going to be so small that it's not going to be worth even like, losing sleep over. Kenny and Shella says, we went from 30,000 views a day to 5,000 views a day, started our couples channel in March, and now over at 8,000 subs. Didn't change our strategy. So we went from 30,000 views a day to 5,000 views a day, started our couples channel in March. Okay. So what you guys need to do, Kenny and Shella, if you are, congratulations though, on being over 8,000 subs already. But if you went from 30,000 views a day to 5,000 views a day, something did change. If you dig into your stats, you're going to be able to figure out what that is. So that could come down to, like, the actual strategy might be the same, but the way that you're doing things might be different. And what I mean by that is like, the specific way that you guys are doing your thumbnails. Cause I see some of your thumbnails will have 2 people, some will have 1 people, some will focus on like some weird dog thing that's going on. I don't even know what that is. Oh my gosh. Cannot unsee. For that dog. Right. But, go and dig into your stats. And I know that sounds kind of like, well, that's an easy thing to say, but like legit, if you dig into your stats, you start looking at the videos that performed versus the videos that don't, you will quickly be able to identify why one is getting treated better than the other. Or one type of content is getting treated better than the other on your YouTube channel. So if you go from like 30,000 views a day down to 5, other things that can happen too is like before, like you might be doing everything the same, but before you might have had some videos, and this is another thing that your stats are going to tell you, is you might have had a video or a few videos getting suggested next to some really strong videos on YouTube. And then those videos could have lost the traction that they had. And because of that, then that could have caused your channel to not be able to get that flow through from those other channels as well, because that kind of thing happens too. So it might not be something that you're doing. It could be something external in terms of, the way that you were getting traffic. But if you really dig into your stats, you'll definitely, without question, be able to figure out why things are working now compared to, or why they aren't working now compared to how they were working before. All right. Next up, thanks for the tips. I'm stressed about it, so it helps a lot. Yeah, man, Magic Prepper. So when it comes to this stuff, really, it's do if you're like, you know what, I just want something fresh, freshen it up, right? As long as you do it to where, just look at it from the viewer's perspective too and be like, okay, if I'm watching survival and prepping content, does what I'm doing here make sense, right? The stuff that they're seeing on the screen when I'm sitting here talking, does it make sense to somebody that is into prepping / survival content, right? And if it does, then you're good to go. If it doesn't, then think, okay, well, what can I do here in order to make it that way? But absolutely, if you're considering refreshing things and you think, if you're like, yeah, that'll, just give me a little bit of inspiration, go for it. Never hurts to give it a shot. I mean, technically it could, but you know what I mean. All right. So let's see here. I see a couple reports coming in about the internet connection. Let me see if I can do something here really quick. Yeah, I'm not buffering or anything on my side. Rock for Glory, what is up? Nice to see you here. And because I'm live, I don't think that I can actually do any fine tuning here on the stream itself. Yeah, I can't change it. So it looks like we are rolling with what it is that we are rolling with. Oh yeah, it looks like it is still from time to time. It looks like it is buffering there a little bit. Hold on, let me see if I can change anything here, and I don't think that I can. So I'm just going to keep on trucking, and we are going to go from there. So that's all I can do. It's all I can do. Best I can do. At least we made it live. Like, look, I'll be honest. I didn't even think I was going live today because of the tech issues that we were having before. So I'm pumped. That I'm even able to come and hang out and be live here today anyway. So, okay, Regard saying he loses complete sentences. So hopefully it'll smooth back out. I still have the green light over here and it's not buffering. Oh, it just buffered. Okay, so it is buffering just a tad on my end as well. So yeah, it's something we're dealing with. So it is what it is in the moment. Got to do what you got to do, I guess. Keep trying to move forward until the internet just shuts me down completely. So next question that we have on our list, and if you're just joining us, I do want to let you know that we are answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, make sure that you put it through the link in the comments down below, or not in the comments. What am I talking about? Put it. There's a link in the description where you can actually put your question. So put it down there. Rock for Glory, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Lots and lots and bunches and bunches. Thank you so much for the super chat there. Always appreciated. All right. Shadow Sark PvP says, any tips on how to use YouTube to promote my other work? Absolutely. Talk about it, right? Talk about that other work that you do. Let people know what it is that you do. Soul Moons Rising, what is up? Thank you for swinging into the chat today. Yeah. So what you want to do is, is either one, just mention it on your current channel if your channel is about something else. But if it is about, like, if you really want to do it, then what I would do is I would say, okay, this is the product or service that I have. Now I'm going to make a channel and I'm going to dedicate that channel to that product or service so that I can optimize these videos for search, most of them. And by optimizing these videos for search, I'm going to try to target things that will actually lead people into the particular product or service that I have to sell. That's what I would do in that situation. All right, D checking in from North Korea. Okay, so next up we have Jennifer Ever After. Nice. So is Jennifer, like, is that kind of like, along with happiness, maybe? I see what you're doing there. Happily, maybe. We got Daniel Patel in the house. What is up, Daniel Patel in the house, everybody? What is up, man? Daniel Patel coming in saying, hey, what up, cool kids? Yes, we've got D Nimmin in here. We had Roberto Blake in here. We got Daniel Patel in here. All right, got the homies swinging by. Nice to see everybody coming in, hanging out. Scully's House of Thrillers, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here as well. The Unfathomable of Spirituality, what's up? Nice to see you here. Absolutely, you can. Unfathomable Spirituality. You can drop it into the form, or in your case, because you're a channel member. So the best thing that you can do in your situation is join the members only Facebook group, because there you can just drop a question, right? You don't have to like wait in line or anything like that. Like you can just go and just drop a question, be like, hey, quick question, XYZ, this is my question. And then as soon as I see it, then I can drop an answer in there for you. That's the best thing that you can do. Okay, next up on our list, oh yeah, Jennifer Ever After. We've got travel and Disney as the channel. They have, or what they do, fun, hobby, and eventually to monetize. I'm trying to monetize. Where do I go from here? I've had a slow but steady start. How do I take it up a notch? I know more frequent uploads would help. More frequent uploads don't always help. Sometimes they do, but like frequent uploads help if you're making content that people are already proven to respond to. If they're not responding to it, I'm looking at your channel here real quick before I continue ranting about that. Oh, that's weird. I went to a playlist. That was interesting. I just went to your Star Wars playlist. Tell you what, though, I mean, high five to you. Like, you just automatically made my, like, hey, Jennifer Ever After is a cool person list. Okay, so Galaxy's Edge Star Wars. Yeah, totally. You're a cool person. Okay, yeah, so you're getting some views. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, 3 months ago, 1,000 views. Okay, yeah, okay. In your case, yes, uploading more. Upload more. So right now, your last uploads, you uploaded a week ago, and then you uploaded 3 months ago. And here I'll actually, if I can, yep. So basically, you uploaded 1 week ago, and before that, you uploaded 3 months ago. Without question, being more consistent on your YouTube channel will make a humongous difference. And it's not for reasons that you think. The reason that that's something that is helpful is because, what's up, Shroom 2020? The reason that's helpful is because YouTube shows content to people that is similar or relevant to content that they are already proven to respond to. Now, as human beings, I'm trying to think how to explain this in a new way here, because I say this stuff all the time. But basically, human beings, our interests change. So in 1 week, I might be watching rock climbing grandma's videos because I'm thinking of going rock climbing. And the next day I might watch, or the next week I might watch Stanley Orchard's videos on fishing because I'm thinking of going fishing. So in that situation, what happens is my interest switches from going fishing to or from rock climbing to going fishing. So in your case, when you're uploading on a regular basis, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to stay fresh to the people that are into your specific type of content, which is Disney and travel related stuff. So the people that are already coming in and they're already interested in your channel, they're already proven to watch your content and interact with your content. When you upload more, your content is more likely to be shown to those people who are recently interacting with your content. The longer period of time that goes from them interacting with your content and you publishing your new videos, then the less likely, unless you're making something that's really unique, the less likely that content is going to be suggested to all the same people that it would have if you would have published a week after they had watched one of your recent videos and interacted with that, okay? Now, with that said, without question, if YouTube's like, hey, this person is a good candidate for this, then they're gonna show it to that person anyway. But if they are into travel and Star Wars or travel and Disney content, then in that situation, they're probably also watching other travel and Disney channels. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to lose out to those other travel and Disney channels because they are more recent in the viewer history of those people that are still interested in Disney and travel right now. You don't want to lose out to those people because you haven't been uploading, right? So those people are going to upload something and YouTube's going to make sure that they get the notification because they just recently have been interacting with their content compared to you who haven't uploaded in 3 months. Then YouTube is going to be less likely to show you to that person because they're already getting that other, Disney content from that other person that they enjoy more. And it goes way deeper than that too. Like, it also goes to the point to where, of course, keeping everything, relevant in terms of, like if they are watching those other people's Disney content, that does also help you surface there as well because they're still interested in the Disney stuff and all of that. But then you do also have the side of, when you are when you are, when you're putting out content on a regular basis, you're staying at the top of mind, you're fresh in user histories. And by being fresh in user histories, the really cool thing about that is it also helps YouTube try to find other people that are also interested in that content as well, not just the people that interacted with your stuff. But when you're not uploading, it's helping those other channels get in those places with those new uploads to get put in front of those people that you could have had the opportunity to get in front of. Darcy Apple, thank you for the super chat, says, I've restarted my channel, but now doing 2 series, one entrepreneurs and saving to buy a home on it. Also doing my hair videos, which is what my video was built on. Any advice you can give? I think my, and then it truncates there. So it gets cut off there. And I think my, so here's the thing. I saw a comment from you just recently, I think today actually, or maybe yesterday. So thank you for that also. But so if you're doing 2 series, one's for entrepreneurs and saving to buy a home, and it's on like your hair videos, the problem here is that for the people that are interested in the different topics, you are creating a disconnect of sorts, right? So sure, you're going to have those people that are into you and they watch your content just because they're into you. But you also have, at the topical level, you also have YouTube showing your videos to the right people who are most likely to watch them. And that whole user history thing that I just explained, that's also a situation topically too. So here's what can happen. Let's say that you watch my videos, right? And you do. So let's say that you're watching my videos and my videos are about YouTube content. You know that you can come to me as a resource. If you're trying to learn how to, grow on YouTube, you're trying to figure out the right tools to use, you're trying to figure out the right services to use for, music and captions and all that stuff. You're trying to basically get better at YouTube. You can come to my channel and pretty much every video on my channel is going to be something that is going to make sense to you as a creator and it's going to help you in some way. Now, if I were to all of a sudden start uploading videos about baseball and my thoughts on baseball, then right there, they would be a huge break in what it is that I offer on my channel. So because of that, sure, YouTube might show it to people that are interested in baseball and that video might do well. But what happens is I start muddying my audience, right? I start muddying the people that are responding to the different types of content. So in your particular situation, when you publish a video on entrepreneurship and home buying, but your channels is built on hair stuff, or, like beauty hair type of content, then in that situation, you're showing people that care about beauty and hair, you're showing them entrepreneurial and house stuff, and that's not what they care about, right? They care about the beauty and hair stuff. Now, if that was in reverse, the same exact thing would apply. If you're sharing entrepreneurial content, and then all of a sudden you drop in a hair video, well, it's like, well, wait a minute, who is like, what am I thought she did like entrepreneurial stuff. I'm unsubscribing. I'm out of here. She actually, this isn't the type of channel that I thought it was, right? And then you just start breaking that all the way across the board. So what I recommend that you do is I recommend that you pick something, typically the thing that grew your channel, and go just continue to put out that content. Now, of course, everybody gets bored with the type of content they make and things like that from time to time. So in that situation, just try to think, okay, people, right? So people that are watching this hair content, what else might they be interested in? So I want to put out a different type of content, but I grew my channel off of this hair content. So because of that, the people that are into this hair content, what other types of things that might they be interested in? So I'm guessing if you're doing hair content, they're probably interested in any type of content that has anything to do with looking good. So you could say, okay, well, instead of doing like entrepreneurial, then in this situation, let me do like fashion, or let me do beauty, or let me do, confidence, or, something like that. Other things that have to do with, looking good, or how people look, if that's what actually grew your channel. Now, if you're wanting to like pivot and go another way, something like that, because you're like, I can't make another hair video, in that situation, go for it. But just keep in mind that's most likely going to be a difficult transition to make, but you can, but it's going to be a difficult transition because YouTube is already saying, hey, these people that watch your channel are like this. And then you're going to take it and you're going to fight it and be like, no, they're this. I want them to be this. But then YouTube is going to be like, no, it's actually this. Right. So you'll create like an uphill battle of sorts for yourself in that situation. But of course, another thing I do want to say, another disclaimer, is that without question, there are channels. G. Michael Jr. always cooking cakes. That's what I'm talking about. But another thing to keep in mind is that when you are putting out content on a regular basis and you do get known for that specific thing, it can be relatively hard to break out of. But one thing you can do if you are trying to like move into another space is, if you have the bandwidth, I mean, if you have the time, one thing that you could experiment with is actually putting some of those videos on another channel and then letting the people on your current channel know that you have that other channel as well. And then you start using your current channel as a filter to where you can filter out some of the people that are also into that other types of content. For example, I might end up, I'm kind of brainstorming. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I might end up doing a VR channel. And if I do VR, because I'm getting like hooked on virtual reality, if I end up doing a VR channel, of course, I would let you guys know about it. However, I wouldn't put that content on this channel. Now I might do something VR on this channel. I actually have it planned, and it probably isn't going to do that great, but it's still relevant to you as somebody that makes YouTube content, that idea that I have for that. So what I'm saying is you can use your current channel as a filter for an additional channel if you wanted to, or you just make content that makes sense for the audience that YouTube thinks likes to watch your content. Because other things that can happen too is like, you know, somebody just subscribed to your channel, they left a comment, they watched like your entire video, they gave it a thumbs up, they even shared it somewhere. Another thing that can happen there in that situation is YouTube shows that entrepreneurial content to them and they don't click on it. And if they don't click on it, guess what happens? YouTube's like, hey, or they click on it and they're like, oh wait, this isn't what I expected, I'm out of here. Then that video quickly gets demoted or doesn't surface as much because the people aren't responding to it because they're getting shown the wrong type of content, right? Because YouTube has identified them as somebody that watches the type of content you normally make, not a completely different type of content. Brian G. Johnson in the house. What is up, Brian G. Johnson? Nice to see you in here. As always, thank you for stopping by the stream, Brian. As always, Matthew Bigar, what is up? Nice to see you in here as well. Brian G. Johnson, I would pull your book up, but unfortunately, Video Nerd, what is up, man? But unfortunately, I'm streaming from home tonight. We had some internet connections at the studio. Zach Talks Tech, thank you, my man. I appreciate it, as always. But yeah, I'm streaming from home. If you can't tell, right? Can't tell what's going on. That's what's happening. All right, so that was a very long answer to your question. Hopefully that was the information that you had hoped for, the information that you needed to hear in this moment right now so that you can make the proper choice moving forward there. Okay, next up on our list, we've got James Igbo. James Igbo says they've been on YouTube for 2 months. iPhone 11 Pro Max is what they're making the content on. They do a vlog. They do it for fun, hobby, awareness. Question is this. I have 8 videos, and to have more views than others, and people that follow me on Instagram do not go to YouTube and watch my videos and subscribe, but D always watches my story. How do you make the transition? I have them literally watch your video, comment, and subscribe every time I upload, or should I be patient and just let new subscribers find and search me? Okay, so the question here is basically, what should they do in terms of their Instagram followers to get them over to YouTube? So here's the thing. People that are on Instagram, they're on Instagram so that they can do Instagram stuff. People that are on YouTube, they're on YouTube so that they can do YouTube stuff, right? People that are on TikTok are on TikTok so they can do TikTok stuff. However, some people that are really, really into what it is that you're doing, some people will flow over in terms of being like, okay, hey, you need to stop over here and go over to my YouTube channel like right now. Letting people know that you have those other outlets, or letting people on Instagram know that you have the YouTube channel is definitely something you should do. But you know, meet them where they're at. If they're on Instagram, give them the Instagram content, right? Some people will end up flowing over time, but most of those people are going to just end up staying on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Now I have some friends that are actually growing their YouTube channels with TikTok, but they're putting out really cool and interesting content on TikTok, and people are like, wow, this is great. And then they go and then they flow over to their YouTube channel. So you can definitely get people to transfer, but you just have to make sure that people are, or not make sure, but people just have to be really into what it is that you're doing. Elite says, Nick Nimmin, how do you feel about live streaming? I'm live streaming right now. I don't know what that tells you, but I'm live streaming right now. And I love live streaming. It's great. It's fantastic. Fabulous. Wonderful. It's great. Love live streaming. Yes. Yeah. Hand clap for live streaming. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Cats Does YT says they do gaming content. They do it for a hobby and fun. How to give good introduction to a video if not using an intro. Also, what is the best free video editor? Best free video editor if you are on a computer is DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve is like hands down by a number of reports. Just people are always talking about how awesome it is. DaVinci Resolve. So check out DaVinci Resolve. Chiba Gaming YT or JP says that they use HitFilm. HitFilm is also good. But if you want to basically use a pro editor, DaVinci Resolve is what you want to mess with. And in terms of the introduction, if you're not using an intro. So let's talk about introductions. So when your video first starts, how many people here use DaVinci? You know what? How do you spell that? Hold on. DaVinci Resolve. DA here. I'll actually pull it up on my screen here so you can check it out here. Franklin family. There it is. DaVinci Resolve. And when you go to the page itself, you're going to have to scroll pretty much all the way to the bottom of the page in order to see the actual free option, because they also have a paid one. But in order to see the free one, you're going to have to go all the way down to the bottom of the page. But in terms of the intro, how many people here are using an intro for YouTube? Give me hashtag intro if you're using a logo intro. Not just verbal, but if you're using a logo intro, how many people here are using an intro for your YouTube channel? Give me a hashtag intro if you are using it. We've got Orlando Guy, Isler Window, Chiba Gaming, Pipe Cleaner saying no, Master Dro. Okay, so we've got a lot of intro. We've got somebody ditching, Christina Smallhorn ditched the intro. That's what I'm talking about. So here's the thing. When it comes to your intro, it's really important to make sure that you always consider the viewer experience, okay? I'm actually considering dropping my intro as well. The reason I've kept my intro for so long is because I make content for content creators. And the reason that I'm considering dropping my intro is because I think that I'm sending kind of a mixed message, right? So basically I tell people that you shouldn't use intros in your videos, but then I use an intro in mine. However, the thing for me is I'm making content for YouTubers, people that are getting into YouTube, and typically they think intros are cool. So because of that, or it's like they think it's part of a video. So because of that, I use an intro in mine for the sake of that connection side of things. But I'm still considering taking it out of my videos. But the idea with an intro is it interrupts the viewer experience. Yes, it's cool because it's branding. Yes, it's cool for the ego because you get to see your own name or your own channel name or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's not what people come into your YouTube channel for. How many people here, let me know this one. How many people here, give me a hashtag yes or no, go onto YouTube thinking, oh man, I hope I can see some good intros today. Give me a hashtag yes or no if you think when you go onto YouTube, you're not thinking, hey, I want to watch a video. You're thinking, oh, I want to watch some intros today. Give me a hashtag yes or no. Deo says, thanks for all you do. I have a scam baiting channel where I help people become aware and educated about different scams like tech support, SSA, Amazon, etc. Roberto Blake has a fire video on YT scam. Yeah, he does. Roberto put out a video recently. I think it might have been today. I retweeted it on Twitter about some of the scams that are going around. Definitely check that out when you get the chance. Okay, so we got nope, right? No all the way across the board for intros. So, and Beanie saying that like Peter McKinnon has a good intro. Beanie says he likes my intro. But here's the thing. If you look at all of these no's, and we've got a couple of yeses for people that hop onto YouTube with the intention of only watching intros. We do have those. But we've got a lot of no's in here. And I want you to take really a big note of all of the no's that are in here. And think to yourself, when my viewers come into my videos, do they really need to see an intro, right? Like Roger Wakefield, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. He's saying he has a little intro. Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber in the house. But basically, like when you are using an intro, the one thing that can happen in your intro is, and you can see this a lot of times, most times in audience retention, you'll see that when your video starts, let's say that you have a hook and you grab somebody's attention and then that intro drops, you'll lose a percentage of your viewership during that intro. So what you're doing in that situation is you are technically hurting your audience retention by using that intro. So because of that, if you can avoid it, experiment on your channel with your audience, experiment with not using an intro on just a few videos and compare your audience retention on those compared to the ones that you do use an intro, and just see what happens on your YouTube channel. Okay. in terms of the verbal stuff that you say. A lot of people will also say things like, hey, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, but they won't give like any reason whatsoever. So, in terms of a good introduction, if you're going to do something like that, replace your graphical intro with something that actually makes sense. And the thing that would make sense would be to let your viewers know the type of content that you put out and the reason that they should subscribe to your YouTube channel. Not because you want them to, not because it would help you out, but because on your channel, they can count on you putting out XYZ type of content, right? Like in my example, I do that if you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. But basically what I do there is I let people know, if you're, in a nutshell, if you're a content creator, this channel's for you, right? Other people do it, around tech. Hey, if you want to stay up to date on the latest tech, make sure you subscribe, because what they're doing there is they're expressing that value that the viewer is going to get at the beginning of the video to let people know that they consistently make the type of content that they're getting ready to watch. So even if they don't pull the trigger, so to speak, on subscribing right there on the spot, the viewer is informed right out of the gate that channel consistently makes that particular type of content because of that intro. So it's not about, hey, this is going to help me out, make sure you subscribe, or hey, subscribe for more videos like this, because they haven't even watched your video yet, right? So when it comes to like what it is that you're doing in the intro, you really need to think about, one, I need to hook the viewer. Two, if I am going to put a call to action to subscribe at the front of my video, I have to make it crystal clear what it is that the viewers are going to get out of my content, and I have to do it quickly. It's got to be fast. If I don't do it fast, then I'm hurting my audience retention in most cases, right? You got to get them through all of that stuff quickly so that they can get to your actual video content. Man, that was ranty, wasn't it? Whew, that's pretty ranty on the intro thing. Oh my goodness, so ranty. Goodness gracious. What am I doing ranting like that on a live stream on Saturday? Just talking and talking. It's ridiculous. What am I doing? If you have a question you want answered, make sure you put it in the form in the description down below this video. Okay, next up, we've got Creations by Baby Doll. All right, what's up, Baby Doll? Been on YouTube for 3 months. They do painting, brand awareness, and sales is the goal of the channel. What is the question? Is 720 the best format to upload to YouTube? No, it is not. The best format to upload to YouTube is the format. It's actually the content. The format isn't as important, but 720 is going to give a little bit lower of a viewer experience, but it does the trick. If that's the only thing that you can upload, go for it. But if you can, try to get up to at least 1920 by 1080. And if you have the cameras and the internet connection and the power on your computer to edit it, if you can, put up 4K, because the higher resolution you get, the more that you're future-proofing what it is that you're doing. Now, keep in mind, with that 720 content, 70% of the watch time on YouTube happens on a mobile device. So because of that, most people are watching it in like 480 anyway, right? But for the people that are watching it on TVs, which is growing in a massive way, do you watch? Let me know. Hashtag, yes, I watch it on, just give me a hashtag, yes or no. Do you watch YouTube on your TV? Yes or no? I just started watching YouTube on my TV. I still do it kind of like hit and miss, but I definitely do. But the TV is yeah, look at all these. Okay, we got a lot of no's too, so still pretty mixed, but we got a lot of yeses in here. But TV viewership on YouTube is exploding right now. So when it comes to putting out content that's in the higher resolutions, you're really future-proofing yourself for those TV viewers. And also, like with 4K, for example, because I actually did a podcast episode recently about 4K, and I know Vigard isn't going to like this, but but I'm actually thinking of starting to do 4K as well, and actually getting a new 4K camera for my standing setup too, because some people, when they watch on TVs, will just watch 4K content because it looks better. I want my content to be available for those people, right? If YouTube starts to identify, hey, these people are only clicking on 4K videos when they're watching on a TV, guess what? I want to make sure that I'm in that list somewhere, right? So because of that, I'm considering moving all of my stuff to 4K as well. And technically, I probably should have done it a long time ago. But you know, with computing power and just thinking, hey, you know, 1920 by 1080 is good enough, then, you know, that's that. But I think that you know, upgrading to 4K I mean, that's the way things are going. So, you know, that at least gets it to that particular point. Roberto says, I do everything in 4K and YouTube uses it in processing codecs. Yeah, codecs. Yeah. I didn't know that you uploaded in 4K, Roberto. Now I know. And knowing's half the battle. That's what they say. Okay, next up on the list is eFix. eFix says business for electricians is the type of channel. That's cool. You should hook up with Roger, the expert plumber. You would learn a ton from Roger. Top gear for electrician is the goal of the channel. And the advice is advice to start a live stream, multiple camera angles, software to control the stream, etc. Fantastic question there. So let me do this here so that you can actually see what it is that I'm using. I'm going to walk you through this real quick. Hey, what's up, Josh? Says, hey, Nick, just saying what's up. Thanks for the tips as always. My pleasure, Joshua. Glad that you were enjoying the content as always. Yeah, Roberto, like, hey, I'm ahead of the curve here. I've been doing this for years on the 4K. Yeah, I close caption everything too. The only thing that I don't close caption is the live streams because they're just so long. But I should, really. I mean, you know, it makes it more accessible. But let's see here. Not enough people watching on the replay, though. Maybe they would if I captioned it. Okay, you can hear those battles going on in my head, right, as I say this. Okay, for the, let's see here. That's the desktop, so it's not that one. Let's go to split screen, not that one. Let's go to the, man, I know it's in here. Browser? Nope. I know it's in here. I've seen it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this right here, to answer your question, for the software to control the stream, what you're looking at on your screen right now, this is Streamlabs. This is what I use here, and we also use it in the studio in order to run our live streams. If you look at what you see right here, this is like the main window where you see the actual image itself. And then you'll see like over in this area, it just kind of gets lost in this like thing. It's because this is set up in studio mode. So you're actually seeing the two different views side by side. And I can actually hit this up here to transition in between the two different scenes. And then this over here, I just have this pop out from YouTube that I slide over here. And then down here, you can actually switch the different scenes. So you can see here, this one says questions. So when I click on that, that little panel slides up that says questions, right? So it just says, you know, if you want your question answered, put it in the thing. This main room right here shows just the cam itself. As you can see here, I have second screen, which is this monitor that you're looking at right now. And that shows the actual streaming software itself and so on. But basically you build all of these different scenes in here so that you can switch them around as you want to. But in this particular situation, I'm just using one cam, but I use these scenes in order to switch around between the different stuff, which almost gives it a feel like I'm actually using multiple cameras. Colton Games 14, congratulations on that. On getting your first 10 subscribers. That is fantastic. But yeah, so when it comes to live streaming, Streamlabs will help you do that, but you can, without question, you can set up multiple cameras if you want to. If you're an electrician and you are talking about the business of being an electrician and there are things that you have to show, Coco Bella, I actually have an entire playlist on Streamlabs. I've got another playlist on OBS. Both of them will teach you a ton about live streaming and how to set all this stuff up. But what you would want to watch is you would want to watch like a, I can't remember the title, but it's like Streamlabs tutorial, like how to set up a live stream or something like that. That's the one that you want to watch, or there's another one on OBS that you want to watch. But back to the top gear for electrician here, eFix. So the thing with the multiple angles is you can also do cool stuff like, let's say in this situation, let me do this. Let's say that you were live streaming and you are an electrician and you're trying to show people how to work on something. One thing you could do in that situation is you would have this to where you could have your thing that you're wiring up here, and then you're sitting there and you're showing people, you know, how to do the specific thing or whatever. And you'd be able to switch to that camera view. You know what? You can't even see what I'm doing right now. There we go. And you'd be able to switch to the camera view here that is like the overhead view where they can see, you know, hey, this is how, let me grab a wire here to make this legit. This is the wire that you use to plug in here. And remember that you always want to cut the yellow one first, because if you cut the other one first, then you might have like a real problem on your hands, right? So, you know, like that gives you the ability when you're using multiple cameras to be able to do that sort of thing. Dusty Porter in the house, dropping a $5 super chat. Dusty Porter, what is up, my man? Nice to see you in here. Hey, Dusty Porter, we did an interview on Dusty's podcast. D and I, we both were fortunate enough to be invited onto Dusty's podcast, so that we could, the Creators Hub podcast, so that we could, talk about YouTube in 2020 and things like that. So if you're a content creator, you definitely need to check out Dusty's channel first off, because he does all types of tech stuff, shows you how to do all kinds of stuff. He's probably even got some live stream stuff on there, which I believe he does. But in addition to that, he also has a handful of podcasts that he does. And one of them, the Creators Hub, is something that you definitely should listen to as a content creator. There he is right there next to the wrench next to his name. Definitely check on his channel as well, because he is just awesome. For nothing else, you need to go over and listen to his voice. He has an amazing, amazing voice. That's why his podcast is so much, right? Amazing, amazing voice. You need to go check it. You need to go check out Dusty and just listen to his voice. All right, next up on our list here, we've got Matt is a bot. I knew it. Ugh. I knew it, Matt. I knew Matt was a bot all this time. You know what? I'm like, you know what? I bet Matt's a bot. And everybody's like, oh, no, Matt's not a bot. And then right here, Matt's a bot. It's the channel name. Matt's a bot. Just kidding. Just went on a little thing there. Okay. Matt is a bot says that they do gaming content. They're doing YouTube as a hobby. And the question is, so on my channel, I used to post weekly. Then about 2 weeks ago, I tried posting daily, but I got burnt out fast. Daily content, man, that's no joke. But I got more subs and views than ever before. I just wanted your opinion and some tips on if I can still post weekly and grow. That's all. Thanks. Absolutely, you can post weekly and grow without question. Some people only post weekly. Some people post bi-weekly and they still grow. At the end of the day, if people are responding to the content that you're putting out, you are going to continue to grow, right? You have to be able to get people to click on your thumbnails and titles, get them to watch your content for a fair amount of time, more than the other people in your space, or at least as much as the other people in your space. And you have to get them to be able to engage in your content. Do those things. Just do those 3 things. Focus on those 3 things, and everything will end up working out for you. You also have to work on discoverability too, because you have to be able to get your videos to show up in front of people, or show up in search results, or on home pages, or being recommended and suggested videos. You got to do that too. But with those things, if you focus on getting people to click and watch and engage, then all of that other stuff is going to happen as well, if you just keep doing that over and over and over again. Keith Barker says, thank you for the excellent tips and advice. Thank you, Keith, for watching the videos. Thank you for enjoying the content. And thank you for the super chat as well, and for hanging out in the live stream. I appreciate it. All right, next up on our list, next question on our list, we've got, you know what? I'm actually going to just take a cup of coffee here real quick. Not a whole cup of coffee. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not going to just sit here and drink a whole cup of coffee. But I will take just like a little sip. So if you're sitting there drinking coffee or tea right now, just take a moment, take a moment, take another sip, enjoy that coffee, enjoy your Saturday morning or your Saturday evening or night, depending on where it is that you happen to, be. Elite says, can you do a channel review and tell me why I'm losing subscribers and getting so little views? Elite, I'm actually not looking at YouTube channels today, but you know what? I'm actually feeling generous because I was fortunate enough to be able to live stream today, even though I thought that I wasn't going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up, and I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but I am going to just give it a quick glance and see if there's anything that just stands out where I can say, hey, what's up, Hybrid Steel? Anything that just stands out where I can say, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's that. Okay, so you got 16,000 subscribers. So, right, you're doing something right? So here, let me see what we got here. Tell me why I'm losing subs. Okay, so in terms of losing subscribers, one thing that's really important for you to know is that when it comes to YouTube, they do purges from time to time, which is basically where they will delete inactive or spam accounts. So all those people that are running around YouTube saying, hey, subscribe for subscribe, those get canned as long as enough people report them. Also, there are people that like legitimately spam as well. Those channels get canned. And people that have just been inactive for a really long time, those channels also get deleted. And when that happens, it gets reflected in your subscriber count. Also, when you upload content and that content is not in alignment with the interest of the people that previously subscribed, they will unsubscribe. Whoa, What just happened? I think we just had an issue. Look at this. Holy moly. Let me switch it to here. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. One sec. Huh. Man, that was crazy, right? Holy moly. I'm not even sure what happened there. Let's check the time. 1 hour and 38. Yeah, it shouldn't have done anything. That was weird. Wow. I just went like Matrix. That's what it was. I just kind of like faded away into the Matrix, and then we just came back in. Neo was like, "Hey, we need you back on the Nebuchadnezzar," right? Or Morpheus was like, "Hey, we need you back." Okay, so let's see here. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So Elite. So yeah. So in addition to that, like when it comes to your people, your subscribers that you're losing, it can also be to where, you upload content that isn't what they signed up for, or they just realized over time that, hey, I'm just not interested in this particular channel anymore, so I'm just going to unsubscribe, right? Like over my entire time on YouTube, I've lost over 100 and something thousand subscribers on my channel. It's just part of the gig, right? A lot of people start YouTube, but not a lot of people continue YouTube once they figure out how much work is involved. And because of that, I have a lot of people either unsubscribe or people that stay subscribed, but they just don't watch the content anymore because they're not interested in YouTube anymore because they gave up. Now, when I'm looking at your channel right now, the very first thing that I can tell you at a beaming glance, Elite, is your titles, man. You really need to work on your titles. What's a good title? No. Fortnite Floating Island .mp4? No. Ligma? No. -2? No. If you had, 12 million subscribers, you could get away with titles like that. But right now, I would recommend that you stay away from those particular types of titles, because it's not going to do you a lot of good in this particular point in time. Travel, explore, click. What is up? Nice to see you here in the chat. Thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it a bunch. Thank you for that. Roberto saying there are thousands of channels with silver play buttons that abandon their audience. Without question, there is. And there's bunches of audiences that also abandon those 100,000 subscriber channels too. All right. But I think that's kind of what you meant, to where the channels where they're like, I've got my play button. Now I'm going to do something completely different. And then people are like, wait a minute. Why, this isn't what I signed up for. And they're out of there. Okay. Texas Barbecue Show says the channel is lifestyle, maybe. Brand awareness, fun, and money. Says I have a blog podcast that I video as well for YouTube. I do the video for the ability to show ads from my interviewers. That may be advertisement or a video about an upcoming cook-off. Is taking an Audible podcast and making it fun and something to watch as well a smart move? One thing that you want to consider with your podcast is, if you're making a podcast, YouTube is also a distribution platform that you can use for your podcast. It isn't the most... Unfathomable Spirituality saying, how do I know my videos are seen in America? All you have to do is go into your analytics in YouTube. Once you go into your analytics, you're going to see your main graph up there at the top with a bunch of tabs on it, but down in the bottom left, you're going to see something that says see more. You want to click on that. And when that opens up, you're going to see more tabs going across the top. And then there you're going to see demographics, or you're going to see geography. And when you click on that, that's going to give you insights into where people are actually watching your videos from. Let's see here. So in terms of uploading your podcast to YouTube, sure, go for it. I'm actually talking to Vigard right now about editing, because I've been making videos for my podcast as well. So because of that, I'm going to be putting my podcast onto YouTube as well. Soon in video format, just because it's just another place that people can, consume that content. So it's another distribution platform. So I am totally supportive of people putting, YouTube content or podcast content onto YouTube. And in some cases, it does well. Tracer TV says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is money. What are your updated tips for a gaming channel? Please reply. Make content that people respond to. Thumbnails that they click on, titles they click on, videos that they watch for a fair amount of time, at least as much time as the other people that making content like yours, and engage in your content, upload content on a regular basis. Let's see here. So Elite says, also my videos aren't getting promoted, but my friend literally went from 3,000 to 30,000 within a week posting the same content as me. I guarantee you, if you look in your stats, you're going to see exactly why their channel, their content did better than yours. Also, if they're literally posting the same content to where you're actually putting up duplicate content, they could be doing better because they were the first people to post it, and then yours is seen as duplicate content. So that could be it as well. So you definitely don't want to post the same content to more than one channel. In addition to that, if they're posting content that is like yours, then they're posting a different experience for people. And they're making different thumbnails for people. They're making different titles for people. So even though they might be similar to yours, they're different, and people are responding to theirs more than they're responding to yours. Okay. If you look in their stats, have them give you access to their stats and compare the two, 1,000% sure you'll be able to get a crystal clear understanding of why theirs is doing better than yours. So here, next up on the list, we've got Seif with a 7 in it. Says, hey, I just want to ask, what do I need in order to get monetized from YouTube after having 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers? Do I need something else? You need to make sure that you are connected to their AdSense so that you can actually get paid. And you also need to make sure that you are going through the process of going through that so that YouTube can actually approve you for the partner program. Next up, we've got, let's see here. Money, unique. Okay, the name of the channel here is High Quality Sports. Easy to remember. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. Nice and easy to remember. Looking good there. Notebook paper. You get subscribers by making content that people respond to and that they find value in some way. Vigard actually brought your comment to my attention. As I see him here telling you to stop. So basically, you get subscribers by making content that people get something out of. They can get a laugh out of it. They can learn something. They can get inspired. They can be motivated. They can, it can make them think in a way that they didn't, think before, like you open their eyes to something. It could be that they disagree with you. That could be the value to where they're like, you know what, I'm subscribing because I want to watch it and see, I want to come in and see what else this person has to say that I'm going to disagree with so I can fight with them in the comments, right? But they got to get something. Just watching a video and being like, it's not going to get you any subscribers. They got to get something out of what it is that you're doing. All right, let's see here. There was something that came in here and I wanted to address it, but now I think it's like way gone. So scratch that. We're going to go back over here. Okay, so sports, money, unique sports content. What do you think I need to improve to increase my audience retention? I know the language is Hebrew, so it's hard to understand. My retention is around 40 to 55%, always looking to improve. So the best thing that you can do is to look into your own content, and because I won't be able to watch it obviously during the stream. So what you need to do is look in your own content and start looking for patterns on things that people are responding to versus things that people aren't responding to. Is there anything that you do in your videos that makes people leave? When your videos first open, do you see a big drop there? If so, then you need to work on that area. Towards the end of your videos, do you have a lot of people dropping off because you tell them, and that's how you XYZ, or you say, and that's why I think that XYZ, or you basically give them an indicator that the video is finished. That can cause people to leave as well. So because of that, you want to look for all of those little things and try to figure out what it is that makes your people leave or stay on your videos. For example, if you're not using a lot of B-roll, that could cause people to leave. It could also cause people to not leave. If you are talking too much, too fast, too slow in your videos, it can cause people to leave or not leave. If you're audio, you're getting 40, 55%, so your audio is probably okay. But depending on your music choices, if you have music choices to where it starts out one way and then it transitions into something else, once it transitions into something else, it might be something that turns your audience off and therefore they end up leaving. But when you start studying your videos and taking notes, hey, this is what's causing this person to leave. This is, or not this person, but in this video, this particular trigger happened and people left in mass. In this one, nobody left. In this one, people left. In this one, people left. In this one, people left. So on the ones that people left, what are the things that I think, or the reasons that I think people might have left? And then in your new content that you're putting out, you start testing those ideas that you have on why people might have left. And then you start to figure out, when I do this, they respond. When I do this, they don't respond. Neil, Urban Explorer in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you. Says, hey there, I know I'm late, but but trying to do the first sort out edit of Scotland content. All right, that's good, man. In Scotland, I knew he's cruising around in the van in Scotland, shooting some really cool stuff, or just showing some good insights there on Instagram with him and his girlfriend. Is that your girlfriend? Is that your girlfriend or just a buddy, Neil? Okay. She's probably sitting there next to you, so I probably just made for an uncomfortable moment if she's sitting there next to you. I apologize. Maybe I did that on purpose. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was an accident. Okay, so next up on our list, we've got Time of the Whovians United. Question is, it's a Doctor Who's channel. The goal of the channel is to create fun, creative videos for Doctor Who fans of all ages to enjoy. What's the best way to advertise videos and why? Best way to advertise videos is to make content that people respond to so that YouTube will show your content to people on the platform that are the most likely to watch it. And that's one thing that I wanted to mention to you, Elite, was that, you were talking about YouTube promoting your content. Doesn't necessarily work like that. It actually works on, like YouTube basically shows content to people that they're most likely to watch at that particular point on that particular device at whatever their viewing habits are. So when you are, saying YouTube isn't promoting my content like they're promoting this other content, it's not that they're necessarily saying, hey, let's just show this to people. It's more that when people come onto the platform or they're on the platform, YouTube systems are saying, okay, well, who's most likely to enjoy this content at this particular point in time based on what they're watching it on or what they're using YouTube on, or based on where they happen to be in terms of location or whatever. And then they will show your content to them. So in your situation where you're giving titles like -2, and that's your title, there's no real context in terms of what that video is about or anything like that. So it kind of hurts in terms of YouTube knowing what the video is even about in the first place to know the right people to show it to based on their viewing habits and what they're likely to watch. Let's see here. So Into the Sarlacc, nice, says, I got my first 50 subs thanks to your vids. Congratulations on that. High five, fist bump for that first 50. Well on your way to 100. Nice to see. And I'm going to scroll up here and see what Neil said. Yep, the ball and chain. And yes, she sat here. Hello, Neil's girlfriend. Hi, nice to meet you. Hope you are doing well. Girlfriend's sister. Yeah, says Paul Peck. Oh, man. Whew, if Dee was here. See, this is one of those situations to where Dee would have just said something totally inappropriate, or at least suggested something inappropriate. And I would have had to have jumped in on it. And been like, okay, well, let's get back to the questions, because they would have taken it south, right? Okay, next up on our list, we have, next question here is from Zay Official. Zay Official says that they do gaming. It's a hobby. Says, how do I get my gaming videos trending? I've seen others paste a bunch of hashtags and grow quicker than me in a month. You get your videos trending, and you not necessarily trending, but again, it comes down to your ability to get people, one, to get people to click on your thumbnails and titles, two, to get people to watch your videos for an amount of time that is similar to or more than the other people that are making content like you, and getting them to engage in some way. The more you do that, and the more people are like, wow, I'm interacting with this content a bunch and I'm sharing it with people and all that good stuff, the more likely YouTube is to show it to the people that are the most likely to watch it at that particular point in time. I do want to let you know, for anybody that's here, this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. It'll help you A/B test your thumbnails, or basically compare thumbnails against each other so you can make sure that you're making them effective. You can also do all types of bulk changes on your channel with this. You can also come up with video ideas with this. You can plan videos with this and all types of additional amazing things. But if you're a content creator for YouTube, you should be using TubeBuddy. You can install it free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. However, they do have additional features as well that you'll definitely want to upgrade for once you can. Okay, now let's get back into this. Thanks for that little FTC disclaimer. Okay, so next up on the list, let's see here. Gaming trending, got that one out of the way. I'm going to take this small coffee break. Everybody, if you're watching right now, cheers. If you'd like to enjoy a sip of your coffee or tea or water, whatever your favorite beverage happens to be. Dr. Pepper, for who mentioned Dr. Pepper earlier. There we go. rum for just frugal me. I tell you what, that's how you start a Saturday, right? That's how you know your Saturday is gonna be a particular way. Good stuff. Okay, I see the reports here of the buffering, so I apologize for the buffering. So if you can just make the adjustment to your, to the actual stream quality, that should help with that. But I know in some of these cases, it looks like even at that lower stream quality, it's still buffering quite a bit. So for those of you that are experiencing that, I apologize. Hang in there. Hopefully it'll smooth out here shortly. Okay, so next up on the list, we have Maz Khan. Been on YouTube for 8 months. They do gaming content. My channel is not growing for a long time. Please help me. The goal of the channel is hobby and fun. Okay, so if your goal of the channel is hobby and fun, then don't stress out about growing the channel. Just put out content, have a good time, put out content that you enjoy, put out content that you have fun making, and do that. If your goal is to grow your channel, on the other hand, then you have to be super viewer focused on what the viewers respond to and make sure that you're putting out content that they dig. Because in that situation, it then becomes about the viewer and less about what it is that you are doing and more about what the viewer is doing. Hey, Tamika by Nature, thank you for loving my content. I appreciate it. Hey, my pleasure, Brendan. I love doing this stuff, man. Okay, next up on the list is Patman27 News. I think, Patman, didn't you have one earlier in here? Says, I got my live stream ability revoked. How do I get it back? Ouch. You're probably going to have to wait for that 90-day period in order, 30-day or 90-day, depending on the violation that you did. But yeah, you're just going to have to wait it out. And it's against the terms of service to try to live stream somewhere else to circumvent it too. So just make sure that you're aware of that. Minecraft LOL says, Mr. Beast doesn't use tags. What is your opinion? Mr. Beast is a master at getting people to basically at the topic level, at the very top, which is the important thing. Like, what am I going to make a video about and how am I going to make it awesome for my viewers? He's a master at that. How am I going to make something that people are interested in? He's a master at that. He's also a master at thumbnails and titles. He can bypass that. He's also got like 22 million subscribers or whatever. So when he puts out a video, by default, it's going to get juice on it, and he's going to get tons of data on how people respond to that video, and he's really good at keeping people watching and entertained and all that good stuff. So it's fine, right? Don't get too caught up in don't get too caught up in tags. I still recommend that you use them, but don't get too caught up in them. And Roberto makes an excellent point here. Smaller YouTubers can't do what big YouTubers do and expect it to work. Yeah. Totally agree with that. He says here also that they also have unlimited resources. Without question, that means they have people that help them. That means that they have, like me being able to produce a Mr. Beast video versus Mr. Beast being able to produce a Mr. Beast video. Two totally different things in terms of just the ability to do so as well. RAB says that they have a reaction channel, and the goal of the channel is to do a job that I enjoy. The question is it too late to switch your videos from made for kids to not made for kids? No, it is not. You can still do that with every single video that you upload. You have the option to mark it as for kids or not for kids. Vigard, excellent point there. Vigard says, remember, Mr. Beast did the work. Absolutely, he did. He put in tons of time, made a bunch of videos before he became Mr. Beast. I mean, he was always Mr. Beast, but you know what I mean. Before he came on everybody's radar. Aisle or window. Nice to see your comment here. Says, travel tips and advice is the channel. The goal is to provide real-world advice for travelers. The question is, I'm about to start a podcast. It's like the thing to do these days, isn't it? Yeah, that's why I started one too. I'm like, oh, might as well. Plus, I love making content. So I was like, I need something to do in the morning when I'm like just getting up and my voice is scratchy and all that good stuff. Give me something to make. And so what I do in that situation is my podcast looks like this. Here, let me... turn that light off, turn this light off. Yeah, my podcast looks like this. So basically it's just me sitting here, and then I have the monitor, and I'm just like looking at the monitor, and every now and then I'll look at the camera talking about whatever it is that I'm talking about. And I do that so that I don't have to shave or do any of the other stuff that you got to do when you're like putting, like the actual like real lights, the real lights on you. All right. Next up on our list. Oh, okay. I'm about to start a podcast. Man, I got sidetracked on that one, didn't I? It's like D is derailing me in spirit. Says, do you think it's a good idea to add a video version of the full podcast to the YouTube channel, or does that dilute either the YouTube or the podcast? Here's the thing. Some people are going to want to just watch it and listen to it on YouTube. Some people are going to just want to listen to it on their podcast thing of choice. So platform of choice. So because of that, YouTube, and I mentioned this earlier too, YouTube is another distribution platform that you can use that people can consume the content there if they are interested in it. Now, another really cool thing about YouTube is, and doing it on both, and this is why I'm going to start uploading mine to YouTube as well, is that when you have a podcast, a new podcast goes live right now, what happens? The people in the podcast apps are going to see it when they go into their podcast app, or if their app has notifications, they might get the notification there. But if they also subscribe to that podcast on YouTube, then there's also the chance that it's also that they're also going to get that notification. They're going to get notified that it's going to happen there. So maybe when they open up their podcast app, maybe in your case, maybe the podcast, it was like, you know what? I've got a list of all of these different podcasts to watch, but you know what? I'm going to watch this other one right now instead, right? But then they go onto YouTube and then they're like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that this person put out this podcast. I'm going to go listen to it right now while I'm doing something else, or while I'm listening to something else or looking for something else to watch. So just in case you don't know, I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it and you're not. Here, we're just going to do it this way. Do it the old school way, if I can. Boom. Right here, that's mine. It's called Comments Over Coffee. Comments Over Coffee. You can download this on iTunes. It's totally free. Oops. Yeah, it's totally free. You can download it on iTunes. And you can learn about YouTube over a cup of coffee. Sean from Think Media, he also just recently put out a podcast as well called Think Marketing, I think is what it's called. You can also download that one as well. It's awesome. I know Roberto's in the chat right now. He also has a podcast. That is the Create Something Awesome Today podcast as well. And I don't see a recent update here, but I'll show you that one too, because I know that he is on his list of things that he is doing this year. A bunch of podcast episodes is on that list. So give me 1 second. I'm going to show you what his looks like too. It's actually got a few. So he's got Ask for Awesome here, and then he has his Create Something Awesome Today podcast. So all of those are really good. And Dusty Porter's, the YouTube Creators Hub, that's his right here as well, that you can that I mentioned earlier. So all of these good ones that you should go check out for sure. Now with that, get that. Is that looking focus? Yeah, it looks okay. So so with that, I'm actually going to be doing a video sometime soon about podcasts that you should listen to, or podcasts that I recommend. You know, if you're trying to learn about how to do YouTube and all that good stuff. So that was another really long answer for something that I could have just said simply, like yeah or no. I just like completely went down like a rabbit hole of like showing like screenshots and stuff of showing screenshots and stuff of a different podcast and all that good stuff. Go south quick. Go south quick. Okay, next up on our list we have Vern's Junk Closet. Totally cool. When I think of Vern, I think of the milk guy. Ernest, was that his name? To where he's like, oh, hey, something, Vern. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what I think about. Okay. 2 times a week is the upload schedule. It's a motivational channel. That's cool. And the purpose is to help people keep confidence, dreams, and hopes to achieve. And says, how can I have my thumbnails to cover the entire screen? So YouTube, by their recommendations in the YouTube Creator Academy, the recommendation to them or from them is to upload thumbnails that are 1280 by 720. Personally, I upload thumbnails that are 1920 by 1080, and that gives me the option to where later I can, if I need to use that in a screenshot or whatever, or social media, whatever, then I can go in and I can actually download like a full res version. But they actually recommend that you upload 1280 by 720. So it's just the ratio that you're uploading your thumbnails in. And I see that you're also making like vertical videos in some of your videos. So if you turn your phone sideways, then that's also going to help you just be able to use like a YouTube generated thumbnail. If you just turn the phone sideways. Okay, next up on our list, we have couponing for a cause. Couponing for a cause. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. So the kind of channel is charity extreme couponing. Okay, wait a minute. So it just came to my attention that there is extreme couponing. So let's think for a second of what extreme couponing is. Hey, what's up, Jeff Eatley? So what is extreme couponing? So like if I were to do extreme couponing, would that be like me being pushed in a shopping cart really fast around a store and like trying to like grab and rip the coupons out and like identify stuff as I'm seeing as I'm like flying down? I'm like cruising through the aisles and they're like, ah, go, 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 go. And there's like 8 people pushing the cart and like kind of like a relay race and like pushing everybody around. It's like, go, go, go. And then I'm like ripping out the coupons. I'm like, oh wait, there it is. Turn around, grab that box of cereal, turn around. There's that, turn around. And then they turn it around and then maybe there's like somebody throws a bucket of water on. Even better, extreme couponing. So basically you're like cruising down the aisle and like everybody's like pushing you down the aisle. And then there's other people that are trying to sabotage. So like you're getting pushed down the aisle and they're throwing stuff in front of the cart. Maybe they're trying to bump the cart out of the way, or like American Gladiators where they have those big soft like javelin things and they're trying to bash your cart so you can't go. Or maybe they throw water on you as you're trying to like go and you're trying to get your coupons out. Yeah, don't get behind the coupon in the checkout line, says Paul Peck. But yeah, so maybe that's extreme couponing. Yeah, I don't know. If it's not, then we should do a oil slicks, beanie draws. Yeah, smoke screens. Oh, can't go down that aisle yet. It's still smoky. We gotta wait. Let's go down 2 aisles down and see if we can find the cereal over there instead. Okay, so the question is, how can I get views on my charity videos? So in order to get views on your charity videos, the best thing you can do if you have a message to send, if you have a charity or something that you're trying to bring attention to, the best thing that you can do is make content that people are interested in general. And what I mean by that is there's not going to be, yeah, I was having too much fun with the concept. It's just, when you said extreme couponing, I'm like, hold on, pump the brakes a little bit. I got to figure this out. But yeah, so basically with the like if you're doing any type of nonprofit or any type of charity, then what you want to make sure that you do, hey, what's up, Mike, is you want to, Heidi, Costume CEO, what's up? Nice to see you in here. You want to make sure that you are not just putting up content that is about the charity. Like that's good if you're like running ads on it or if you're sharing it on your website or in Facebook groups, that kind of stuff. But if you're trying to use YouTube to actually bring awareness to what it is that you're doing, it's really important that you think of what type of content can I make that people would be interested enough to actually look for or to at least click on a lot on YouTube. And then within that content, how can I bring awareness to what it is that I'm talking about? For example, I make videos about YouTube, but if I wanted to bring awareness about a particular type of charity, I would just talk about it in my videos. Oh, hey, by the way, there's this particular charity that I think that you should know about, and I'll put a link in the description if you are interested in contributing to that charity or whatever. So by doing that, you are making content that people are actually looking for and that people respond to, but you're mixing in your message and you're using that as a way to get your message in front of people. So like companies do this too. Like nonprofits do this, companies do it. Some marketers even do it to where like they'll have an entire YouTube channel of stuff that nobody cares about. They'll have an entire YouTube channel that is filled with like testimonials, or it'll be filled with like the good deeds that they do with the charity and things like that. And people care about that, but there's no discovery built in, right? And there's not a lot of people that go onto YouTube and they're like, oh, hey, what is, what has this particular, I mean, if they're researching the charity, they would, but if they're like, hey, what are some charitable things that are going on right now? Like, that's just not, it happens, but there's not just tons and tons and tons of those people. So the best thing that you can do, sorry about that, Brendan, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing there. I meant to click to show that. But basically, what I recommend is if you're doing couponing, I would make content that is about couponing, and I would make content that is more focused on showing people, like how to find the best deals, how to find the best coupons, how to do that sort of things, and then introduce them to the charity. And even though you're a charity, Hey, talk to D about that, Paul. He's the one editing that. I know he yelled at me, let's see here, about a month ago, because I know he was working on it, and the way I recorded everything, like the timing was off and all that, so it had to do some extra stuff. But you know, but he's working on it. I accidentally hid your comment, Brendan. That's why. But but on the couponing side, I think that if you focus on showing people like couponing just in general, and then let them know what's up with the charity, then you'll have a better chance of getting in front of people. But even though you're doing charitable work, the same rules still apply. And those rules are, you still have to learn how to write titles that people respond to, make thumbnails that people respond to, keep people watching the videos for a fair amount of time, get them to further engage and things like that, in order for YouTube to start recognizing your videos as something that people respond to, and your channel as a whole as, hey, every time this person puts out a video, every time a piece of content comes out of this channel, people respond to it. That's when things start. That's when the ball really starts rolling, because you start developing a history of content that is performing for YouTube and what it is that they're trying to achieve. And by doing that, what's going to happen is, by default, YouTube is going to end up showing that content to more people that are the most likely to watch it. And at scale, that's going to end up bringing a lot more attention to whatever it is that you are trying to bring attention to for your charity. So I would focus really hard, and this is without like looking at the actual content of your channel, but I would focus, okay, so you teach people how to coupon on your channel already. Yeah, so in that case, I would just focus on, I would keep doing that, but I would just get really hyper-focused on monitoring how people are clicking your thumbnail. Do you use your analytics at all? Like, are you in your analytics for like all the time trying to figure out like what's working and what's not? Because one of the things that's really important is that you need to be in your analytics figuring out, hey, why do people watch these videos longer than these videos? Why do people click on these videos more than these videos? Is it the topic itself? Is it something I did in the title? Is it something I did in my thumbnails? Like that sort of thing. You need to really dig in and start figuring that sort of thing out. And by doing that, then you basically end up in the category as every other content creator on the platform, to where you become a student of YouTube, so to speak, to where you're just constantly studying on your channel, not even like YouTube as a whole, just your channel. You're constantly studying what works and doesn't work, so that you can make those minor tweaks in order to end up over time getting yourself into in front of a bigger audience. So hopefully that was helpful. Pegasus Angel Gameplay says, got to head out, but so nice to hang out with my fellow Nimminati again. Good luck to all of you on your YouTube journey. You too, as well. Thank you for the super chat. Have an awesome rest of your Saturday. Okay, next up on our list, we have Jeff Everyman. Lifestyle DIY channel. The goal of the channel is a hobby. Says, I'm a new YouTuber. I posted on multiple subreddits under the review types threads. Why am I having trouble getting any feedback from other content creators? I'll tell you why. Because in most cases, when people are posting in those review threads, in most cases, okay, for example, if you go to our YouTubers or our NewTubers, both of them have to where you can just post a review. The only rule is you have to give like somebody else a review, and then you have the review that they can give you in return. So because of that, what happens is people go in and they only post there because they're hoping that people will come in and watch their videos now, and maybe subscribe. So they're doing it as a way to try to get subscribers that aren't even a right fit for the content that they make, because they don't know any better. Because of that, unfortunately, when people post in those, they don't care, right? They don't care. And when you post in there, and a lot of times people don't really care about reviewing your content because it takes time. So in our subreddit, hey, my pleasure, couponing for a cause. So in the subreddit that we created, which I'll actually pull up on the screen right here, and I'll show you this just so you guys can all see this because it's important. So what I did today, and we actually have it every Friday, to where we have a feedback Friday, and this is kind of like an early bird gets the worm scenario. So you want to make sure that you're like being active and that you're, paying attention to like when this gets posted. But let me pull this up. Okay. So like right here, the subreddit, first off, it's called our YouTubers. It's called YouTubers. So if you just go on Reddit and you look for YouTubers, then you'll find it. But basically here I have Feedback Friday that I post every Friday. I actually posted it today, Saturday morning. But basically with Feedback Friday, the cool thing here is that when I post here and say Feedback Friday, the first people that came into here, like this person said, hey, here's a new recent video that I released. It's a speed art video, blah, blah, blah. I watched the video and I gave some feedback, right, on what they can do. Some other people gave some feedback as well. Another person here, yeah, Stanley Orchard, he's in the chat right now. He's in there too. You know, some other, let me find another one here as we scroll down. Yeah, like this one right here. In this particular case, you know, same exact thing. He posted, I came in, gave a ton of information on things that, you know, things that they could do to improve on what it is they're doing, came back and ended up giving even more information on things that they could do for the actual channel page themselves, right? So in our subreddit, what we try to do is we try to, you know, get in there and try to give some tips to the early birds personally. And then for anybody else that comes in and leaves their video in this particular thread, if you post it in the main thing, then it's not, it's going to get deleted. But if you post it in the Feedback Friday, some people will get reviewed, or not reviewed, but some people will get feedback, other people won't, just based on the time that's available, right? So it's best to go in and make sure that you're one of the early people in there for the sake of, you know, getting that feedback. Because, you know, just like I do this live stream here, you know, I try to give help in all these other places when I can as well, on Facebook or Reddit or, you know, Twitter sometimes, like wherever it happens to be. And there's other people as well that are also out there like, hey, how can I help? How can I help these other people that are trying to, you know, make their way on YouTube, so to speak? And one of those ways is little things like that, by giving, you know, some type of feedback into what it is that they're doing. Because I know as content creators, you know, like probably most of you here in the chat are, you know, you're kind of like a one-man show, and you're a one-man or one-person show. My apologies, ladies. You're a one-person show. You're doing the stuff yourself. You're probably the only person or one of the few people in your life that are doing YouTube. So because of that, all the things that you deal with mentally and all the pressures of having to make sure that you get content out and things like that, it's something that you personally deal with, and that it's kind of like a unique experience to you compared to the other people that are around you in your life. So because of that, you know, having outlets like, you know, this live stream where all the people here are content creators as well, having the places like the different Facebook groups like Tube Ritual, which is Brian T. Johnson's group, Video Makers and Marketers, which is Daryl Eves' group. You should join both of those. The subreddit here, you definitely need to join that. The Nimmin VIP for the channel members here, that one's a closed private group, but that's just for channel members here. You know, joining all of these different places for the sake of just getting that feedback and also interacting with other content creators, so that you don't have that like alone feeling all the time when you're trying to do this. Because, you know, like one of the things that a lot of people talk about is like, how do I stay motivated? You know, like I'm running out of juice here. How do I, you know, kind of keep it rolling? One thing that really helps is just talking to other people that are making content, because you start to notice, wow, I'm not the only person having this problem. I'm not the only person that, you know, that is having my computer software crash every time I try to render a video. I'm not the only person that when I try to upload a video to YouTube or a thumbnail to YouTube, for whatever reason, it's just not taking the thumbnail. I'm not the only person that likes or dislikes the new analytics, right? Like you start, you know, finding all of these things with other people, and it just kind of helps with the whole thing. So if you're not a part of any of these, you know, groups, I really recommend that you join. But you've taken the first step, which is basically being a part of this live stream and hanging out with the Nimminati here, which is, you know, step number one in terms of, you know, that group thing, but it extends into these other platforms as well. And I really recommend that, you know, that whatever platforms of choice you have, that you do find other content creators there to share ideas with, as well, for the sake of, you know, just not being alone. So rant over. Okay, next up on our list, we have, oh yeah, Jeff Everyman. I'm a new YouTuber. Okay, yeah, we got that one. See, that was another one. I could have just been like, okay, well, the reason is this, Jeff Everyman, and then moved on. But instead, I went down like a whole rabbit hole. Okay, so next up on our list, we have Taja Martinez. And the question is, they've been on YouTube since November 1st of 2019. So brand new to YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to the YouTuber life. That's what I was just talking about. So make sure that you join some groups as well. The content type is beauty. They're doing it for fun, growth, and money. Question is, I want to come up with fun and unique videos, but I'm struggling. Is there a way to see what people are doing in my niche to help me brainstorm a little? Also, I know we can ask for one here, so can get a channel review. I'm not looking at channels right now, but I can tell you this. If you are looking for content ideas, the way to find out what other people in your space are doing, rock climbing grandma, thank you. I'm going to take a quick moment to lubricate my vocal cords with coffee. I think that's like against lubrication of vocal cords. If Dr. Sten was in here, he'd be able to tell me. Okay, so here's the deal. Just Frugal Me says it's hard to find creator groups in my niche. Every group that I find, I have to leave because they're all doing sub for sub. That is a plague all over the internet. So what you need to do, and you can write these down and I'll say them again. I'll actually type them here in a notepad. You know what? We're going better than that. We can do better than that here on Nimmin Live. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull them up here so you can actually see them, so you can go and join them like right now. Okay, so we've got 2 Ritual there. We've got video makers and marketers. I'm not sure if that's the actual URL, but we're going to try. It's not, so we'll do it this way. All right, everybody, get your browsers open because I want to, if you want to join these groups, I'm just going to show you where to go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. And next time you're on Facebook, write these down. You don't have to leave here, of course, you know, because I want you to stay watching my videos. I don't want you to go and get lost on, you know, this stuff. I want you to stay here if you could. But next time you're on Facebook or Reddit, I'm going to show you here where to go. Okay, so this one here is Daryl Eves' group. He's getting ready to do some like really cool stuff in here. He's already started where he's posting in here on a more regular basis, and he's doing some cool stuff, and he has some cool stuff planned for this. But the name of it is Video Makers and Marketers, okay? Now, this one, they approve people on the way in. The only people, like you only want to go in here if you're serious about YouTube, okay? This is one of those groups to where if you're serious about YouTube, this is a place to where you can go in here, you can share ideas with other content creators, you can ask serious questions about what is going on YouTube here. This is like a legit Facebook group for that, okay? Now, the next one on the list is Tube Ritual. This one is Brian G. Johnson's group. You can look here, Tube Ritual Video Marketing. This is another private group. Now, with this particular group, same exact thing. If you're serious about YouTube, they'll let anybody in to give it a shot. But if you come in here and you're asking for like sub for sub, or you're asking people to like check out your stuff, or you spam or anything like that, toast, right? You will not last more than one post in here if you do that. So this is the garbage stuff that they're talking about that he mentioned before. You don't want any of that. But like this one right down here, like the channel and video promotion, that does you no good. That actually harms your channel. Facebook groups like this, they harm your channel more than they help, okay? But Brian's group, Tube Ritual Video Marketing, tons of amazing information shared here. People posting milestones in here all the time because they are getting results. You know, some results are bigger than others, but they, you know, a lot of results are coming through here, a lot of really cool information shared. So you definitely need to be over here on this one as well. Another place that you need to be, like I said before, is our YouTubers on Reddit. And all of those places. Yeah, so Daniel Battelle, he's actually a mod over there, and he's a big part, actually, of Tube Ritual. But he says here, our band hammer is strong in the Tube Ritual group. Absolutely it is, and it should be. So just be mindful of that. But the other place is our YouTubers on Reddit. If you are on Reddit, you can hang out there. And if you scroll down, if you happen to go there and you're on a desktop computer, you can see here the links to those Facebook groups are over here on the side, as well as my Facebook group, which is YouTube Video Makers. And this particular one also, you can see here YouTube and video making tips. This is another one to where, you know, we post in here as well. I'll be honest with you. This particular person right here is getting ready to get banned. I'm going to ban them right now, and you get to watch it happen here in real time because this is not accepted here. I'm going to delete post and remove author because that is not the stuff that we do there. But basically, like, I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, like my group, it's cool. Like there's a lot of cool information shared there. But when I go online, I hang out more on Tube Ritual, and I hang out more in Video Makers and Marketers than I do in my YouTube video making tips stuff. And that's just because I love both of those communities. And Daryl and his moderators and Brian and his moderators are like super... they're just super active and attentive to what's happening in the group, to where I'm not as involved, so to speak, in the other one. So because of that, you know, those are just awesome groups. When it comes to Reddit, I'm involved there because I love Reddit. I'm not a big fan of Facebook in general, but I love Reddit. So because of that, I'm active over there. So so depending on what it is that you're after and what it is that you're wanting to do or know, you now have the information that you need in terms of the places to go and hang out with other content creators that actually care and that actually, you know, are also trying to, you know, take this stuff seriously. Okay, next up on the list. Next up we have It's Gem. They upload anytime I want. They've been uploading since November 28, 2019, so also new. The goal of the channel is to get 1 million subs. Says what happens when your channel dies. Well, that just means that you stopped uploading content to it, or you made content that people didn't respond to, and you didn't try to put in an effort. That's pretty much it. Next up, we have Emily Garlinsky. And Emily says that the channel is motherhood and lifestyle. They do it for a hobby and for fun. And they say, I'm gaining subscribers so slowly. Only 24 in 3 months. I put up quite a bit of videos and I feel like the content is high quality. Okay. That right there is an Achilles heel. I think that would be the right reference for this. That's an Achilles heel for content creators. I feel like my content is high quality. Your feelings can mislead you when it comes to YouTube. What do you think of that? Huh? What do you think of that? Yeah, so your feelings can mislead you when it comes to YouTube. As content creators, Viper in the house. What's up, my man? Nice to see you in here. Viper Man About Tech in the house, dropping fire. So your feelings when it comes to YouTube and thinking that your content is high quality. It might be. You might be correct. You might feel in the correct way. But since your feelings can mislead you when it comes to YouTube, it's really important to consider this. If you're the one making the content, there's a really good chance that you are biased to that content. So since you're the one making it and you're the one that's putting all your blood, sweat, and tears into making that content, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is it. People are going to love this. This is awesome. I dig this. I just put all this time into it. All this effort. I made this exactly like what I like. I'm like, totally, this is it, right? Unfortunately, that particular thing breaks a lot of content creators. And the reason for that is because when you're putting out content and you're not looking to see how people are responding to your content, then you're just going blind. You're just putting out content and you are just walking into the abyss blindly, having no idea if your content is actually being accepted or responded to, or if people dig the content that you're putting out in a way that YouTube will promote it. So if your goal of your channel, and in this case, because your conversation here is about getting subscribers slowly, if the goal of your channel is to grow and to get more subscribers on your channel so that you can do more things, so you can get money, so that you can have fun, so that you can connect with the other people that are into the same topics you are, that have the same interests, so you can build a community and all of that good stuff, if that's the goal, then it's really important to use the data that YouTube gives you to make your decision on if your content is good or not. Because ultimately, if you want to be the person watching your videos, then it only matters what you think. But if you want other people to watch your videos, then you have to modify things over time in order to make sure that people are responding things in the way that will help YouTube identify your content as something that people respond to so that they can show it to the right people and bring in more traffic to your channel. So skip all of the stuff about, you know, I feel that my content is good or I think my content is good. Go into your stats, look in your audience retention reports. That's going to tell you how people are responding to your content. Now, if you have 15 views, you're not going to have a lot of information to work with. You'll have information, but it's not going to be a lot, right? But if you have like 1,000 views, that's an okay amount of information to where you can really start to say, okay, people, 1,000 people did or they did not respond to this, or they responded to it in this particular way. When the video started, they didn't watch it for that long. So that means I need to work on the very beginning of my video. When they were watching, they got about halfway through and then they just left. Why did they leave? Right? They got almost to the end and then they just split for no reason. Why? There's a reason. Why did they split? What did you do? Right? And you start figuring that stuff out. So when you have that data and you start leaning on the data instead of your feeling, and instead of like what it is that you think, then in that situation, you have hard evidence of what people at scale think of your content. And again, if you wanted to just watch the videos yourself, or you and some friends and maybe your parents or something, in that case, or your kids, you know, depending on where you're at in life. So it's like in that situation, then it's like, you know, you can do whatever you want. And you can feel it and think it and all that. But at the end of the day, it's the data that lets you know how people are actually finding the content that you're putting out on YouTube. Andrew Can in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Can's a filmmaker. He's an awesome human being. He works with TubeBuddy. He is a friend. We hang out and we go to these conferences. It's always fun, always a good time. Nice to see you in here, Andrew Can. As you can tell, I'm streaming from home today. We had some tech issues at the studio today. Attention, YouTubers want retention. Attention, YouTubers want audience retention. That audience throws it all off with that rhythm. Zadius Tech says, is thumbnail A/B testing helpful? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Okay, so next up on our list is, oh, you know what? This question had even more. Says, I have to put quite a bit of videos. I feel like content is high. I've had several people tell me they aren't sure why I don't have more subscribers as my videos are good, but still I never get subscribers when I post a video. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. Again, if people aren't subscribing, then that means people aren't liking your content as much as you would hope that they like your content. So you have to figure out, how can I add more to the people that are watching my videos? How can I make it so when people watch my videos, they leave with something, right? They get something out of my videos. It gives them an opportunity to escape when they're watching my vlogs. Gives them an opportunity to be nosy because I share like really intimate information about my life. So it gives people an opportunity to be nosy and just get a 100% crystal clear, realistic view into somebody else's life. I lift people up in my content, right? Maybe that's your thing, right? But whatever it is, it has to be like, they have to get something out of what it is that you're doing. Soul Carstens, sorry about that. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Mbugua says, Nick, make a rap. Oh, what, you want me to plug in my beat maker thing here and like really go to town? No, I'm not. But I can tell you this. I can tell you that that I did a diss track. I know Daniel's still in here. Brian G. Johnson and I made a diss track for Daniel here in the chat. So you can see me rap on that. But you got to go to Brian G. Johnson's channel, or just look for Brian G. Johnson diss track, and then you'll see me in the thumbnail there, and you can click on that one. All right. So next up on our list, we have... Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. Next up on our list, we have... let's see here. 6 times per week. Holy moly. They do it on a smartphone. They do flip books and new designs. The goal of the channel is a hobby and to make creative things to the world. It says, how can I grow my channel? Make content people respond to. I know it's the easy way, but here's some things you got to think about. You got to think about discovery. How are people going to find your content? How are you going to make topics that people are interested in? How are you going to get that content in front of people? Are you going to do search? Are you going to try to leverage search traffic? Are you going to try to share it on social media to get your initial people in? Are you going to really go hard on studying your analytics and really go hard on studying your audience and the people that YouTube is showing your content to, or you think that they might be showing your content to, and then try to cater everything towards them? Some things that people don't even think about, right? In this regard. Hey, what's up, Travis? MVP in the house. What's up, man? He's an MVP in our world. So something to think about. When it comes to making all those connections, right, and growing your channel and all that stuff, like, people make YouTube videos and they make like the YouTube face, right? To where it's just some like overly ridiculous face. But then they're making content for people that don't respond to that type of thing. And they think, well, just because these other YouTubers that are making content for people that do respond to that, because they do it, I should do it. That's not always the case. You have to think about who it is that you're making content for. Some people see that and they think, they're like, oh my God, I would never click on that. It's cringy. If that's your audience, then by making that YouTube face, I use it in my thumbnails too because people respond to it. But if you're making content with that face where it's like, you know, whatever that face is, and your audience is that group of people that's like, that's so cringy, I would never click on that, then you're doing yourself a disservice. If you have a video and in your video you are talking about, you know, one thing, but then the way everything looks in the video and the way everything sounds in the video, it's a turnoff for the people that are into that particular type of content because they have like a certain expectation of what it is that they get out of videos, other videos in this space that they typically watch. Then in that case, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Like you got to think about all aspects of that stuff because it all matters. A Digital Life says, can you please name off the Facebook and Reddit pages? Thank you for all you do, Nick. Yeah, so the Facebook pages are Tube Ritual, TubeRitual. Also, hey, we got D back in the house. What's up, man? And you have Video Makers and Marketers is the other one. And then the Reddit group is reddit.com/r/ytubers, or you can go the easy way and just type in the letter Y and then tubers.com. So ytubers.com, and it'll forward you over to the subreddit. It's probably the easy way to do it. Yeah, so Mike is saying my viewers would call some of that super cringy. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Doug, for putting that in there. Thanks, D, for putting that in there. Okay, so next up on our list, we have Shanuka the Creator. Hope I'm saying that right. Flip Books and Designs. Oh, okay, we did that one already. Sorry there, Shanuka. Okay, so next up on our list, we have Darcy Apple, and I think we might have answered hers already. Advice on running a channel with multiple things. Okay, yeah, we did that one already. Next up on the list is ST1K. It reads Stika. Okay, so real quick, as a heads up, Stika, the fact that you had to explain that here means that if I watched your channel and I was like, man, this is a great channel, I need to tell my brother D about this. And then I hit up D and I'm like, hey, man, we're at Starbucks, we're having coffee, and we're talking about stuff, and he tells me about some YouTube channel or video he watched, and in my brain, I'm like, oh, that's right, dude. I meant to tell you. I completely forgot. I meant to tell you I watched this channel on YouTube the other day. It's called Stika. You got to go check it out. It's great. Stika. And he's going to go on there, and he's going to look for like STEEKA maybe, or maybe he'll look for STEAKA, or maybe STEEKAH or something like that. He would never look for ST1KA, right? So just be mindful of that in terms of making it difficult for people to find you and what it is that you're doing, just as a heads up. Let's see here. Carco Bella says, Nick, you're so close to 5,000. Are you doing a special video on your journey, how you started and what helped you get to this point? Absolutely. And I did that on 100,000 subscribers too, because that was a pretty big deal for me mentally. So I did that for 100,000 subscribers, but I do have something planned for 500 as well. I hope I can get it done in time. Roberto says, what do you think of YouTube rebranding their homepage to be the Explore page? People don't call it by name anyway, for the most part, if you're not in the space, so I really don't think it matters. Like for us, it changes the language that we're going to have to use over time, but I don't think it matters. Like they changed the Creator Academy to something else. They changed it to like Creators or something, and they ended up changing it back, right? So hopefully they'll do that there as well. I think just changing like the names of certain pages and stuff, I personally think it's kind of weird. My personal opinion on it. Especially since it's a suggestion page, not necessarily an Explore page. But on Stika here, back on Stika again really quick. Is it true that you shouldn't be making small 3 to 5 minutes video and more on YouTube because of the algorithm? No, it's not true. It depends on your space. It depends on what it is that the people that YouTube is showing your content to respond to. If you look at an example that I love to give for this is Lucas the Spider. Lucas the Spider makes like 1 minute video, or not Lucas the Spider, but the person that animates that makes 1 minute videos, and they crush. It's extremely entertaining. The thumbnails just grab your attention, like all of that stuff. Like it's that perfect storm for YouTube, and they just crush. So 3 to 5 minute videos are fine if that's the type of stuff that your particular audience responds to. Oh, Roberto says the trending page. Yeah, same exact thing. You know, like I think that I think that it's a way to keep people from thinking that, hey, this is stuff that is, doing well on YouTube, and makes people, I think it's their attempt to make people think like, oh, hey, I can go here and actually find some stuff, instead of like, hey, this is the stuff that YouTube wants you to see, which I think is the current point of view on the trending page. I think it's just a way to make people reframe that. I don't even think I have that option over here. I never look at that page, so I'm not even sure what they call it over here locally, because we have different, like, not fully different features, but like some stuff that you guys get over there, we don't even get it over here. Pediatric survival swim. I have to look at it on a VPN if I want to see some of that stuff. Educating geared to parents, spreading awareness and being top search for water education. Interesting. Says, do you have any different tips and tricks for education creators geared to parents? I don't really have a huge competition in my field, but being so new, I can't figure out what the absolute top priorities are for my channel and field as far as getting my message across to the statistics of childhood drowning and water safety education. Thanks for all you do. I've been to watch your videos and sometimes I feel lost in all the information. As a new content creator, that can happen. Information overload, just getting like, whoa, there's just so much stuff to learn, because there is. Like, I've been on YouTube for like a little over 5 years now, and I still learn stuff all of the time. I'm constantly learning. Roberto Blake, he's in here. He's in the same situation, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and same exact situation with him. Constantly learning, constantly testing stuff. Things are constantly changing, so you're having to like stay up with all that and learn about all that stuff too. So it's a constant thing, so embrace that and get used to it. But in terms of the tips and tricks that I have for you, since you're doing education, one thing that I would focus on for the base foundation of your channel to get that initial stuff, or to get that initial traffic coming into your channel, is personally on your channel, if you're just getting started, I would try to target search terms, especially if you don't have a lot of competition right now. But I would definitely make sure that you are, when you are targeting search for what it is that you're doing, that you are targeting stuff that people are actually looking for. And all you have to do is go to YouTube, type in the search bar around the topics that you're talking about, and you'll see a drop down of all the different things people are looking for. And then you can also do like A and B and C around that topic too, and you'll just get an endless amount of ideas. But start making some content around there to create that base foundation of what it is that you are doing in your channel. I think that'd be a great way to get started with what it is that you're doing. Because what it is that you're doing is also an awareness thing. Another thing that you could also try to do is, as long as you're making quality content that an experienced creator would look at and say, yeah, this person knows what they're doing, because that's an important part of it. If they can look at it and say, yeah, this person knows what they're doing, plus they're trying to share a good message, plus they're trying to, spread awareness about, kids and water, and I have like a family vlog, so this is something that's important to me and my kids and all that stuff, you might even want to try for that in terms of trying to make some connections so that you can also collaborate with other people to bring attention to what it is that you're doing. All right. Next up on the list, we have Reverse. Reverse says, gaming to entertaining people and get 1,000 subscribers. What are good techniques, algorithms to get more subscribers? It's not algorithms to get more subscribers. The thing is, at the end of the day, man, it's you got to make content that people dig over and over and over and over again, right? That's the technique. You have to figure out what makes people click on your stuff, what makes people watch for a longer period of time. They don't have to watch the entire video. If they do, it'll do better, but they don't have to watch the entire video. They have to watch the video for an amount of time that is comparable to the other people in your space that are putting out similar content. And if you do that and you do it over and over and over again, and you keep adding to people, right? You keep adding value to the people that are watching your content, people will subscribe. At first it'll be one person, then it'll be 5 people, and then it'll be 10 people, and then 100 people, and so on. And then it just keeps going as long as you keep making sure that you are focused on adding value to the people that are watching your content. It's really easy. And I want to touch on this really quick. It's really easy for content creators, for all of us, because there is so much stuff to learn. It's really easy to get caught in all of the little tiny details, and they do matter. But it's really easy to get caught in all these little details, being like, what tags, how do I find the right tags, or what exactly should I do with my description, or with my thumbnails, should I use text or should I not use text, and things like that. Like it's really easy to get caught up in all that stuff. But the best way that you'll learn how to do YouTube and how to get results on YouTube is to take the information that you hear on my channel and other channels like mine, and through the YouTube Creator Academy, which is free. I've got a link to it in the description. It's put out by YouTube. But you take that information and you say, okay, here's this video. Here's all this information I got from this video. I'm going to write down the notes that, all the stuff that makes sense to me from this particular video. And then I'm going to go to my channel and I'm going to see how can I apply this to my channel. And I'm going to see how I can apply this to my next video. And when you do that, maybe you need to not watch my content for a week, or maybe you need to not watch it for 2 weeks while you're working on implementing the stuff that you just learned from that particular video that you watched, right? So that instead of saying, okay, well, this week he said this, because I'm doing 2 videos a week again. So instead of saying, okay, well, Monday he said this, and then like Friday he said this. So I got to make sure I'm doing like all these things now. And then you start getting kind of overwhelmed, and it's really easy to do. So you might want to say, okay, this is what I got from this video. Let me apply this. Let me watch this video a few times to make sure that I really understand what's being said here. And then let me apply this to my channel, and let me see, how I can work this particular advice into what it is that I'm doing. Then once you apply it, because if you don't apply the stuff, then it doesn't do any good. Once you apply it and you're like, okay, now I've got this in here and I have this and I'm doing this particular thing. Now let me go watch some of these other videos, some of the other videos that he's put out, and see what else I can pick up there, take notes there, come back to your channel, start applying that stuff. Because if you're like, okay, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch, 10 videos, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to try to apply, the 50 things or the 20 things or 30 things that I learned from these 10 videos, then what's going to happen is you're going to be trying to do all of this stuff at once, and it can be, a bit overwhelming. So because of that, it's best, in my opinion, to just say, okay, I'm going to focus and make sure that I'm applying the bits of information that I'm getting here, instead of I'm just consuming and not really doing much with it. Make sure that you're consuming, applying, and then once you apply it a handful of times, you get that understanding, come back, consume, apply more, and so on. Video influencers in the house. What's up, Benji? Nice to see you here, man. As always. So I was on the live stream with them last Saturday. How many of you were in that live stream? Give me a hashtag yes if you were in the live stream there on the Video Influencers channel. That was a fun live stream. That was a great live stream. Great conversation. Got some yeses. Got some I was. We got yes, yes. Hashtag. Not a lot of movement here. You guys must be like sitting back on the couch. Maybe you need more coffee, right? There we go. Okay, we're starting to move now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Yeah, I wanted to see a little bit of activity here. Come on. Oh, so good. All right, good. Yeah, if you weren't there, I do want to bring to your attention, because they are in the chat. Benji's in the chat right now. Definitely click on the name up there, the Video Influencers, and go check out that video, or like put it on your watch later list so that you can check it out. We had a conversation for about an hour. Really, really good information for growing your YouTube channel here in 2020. So definitely go check that out when you get the chance to. Okay, next up on our list is GWDM Gaming. Says the goal is to have more viewers and also more subscribers. Says, so I'm a mobile user and I need some good thumbnail making because I suck at it. Can suggest some editing apps and tell me some advice on how I can improve making thumbnails for my videos. I really suck at it, so help me, Nick, with an emoji that looks like this. Uh-oh. Man. So it looks like I lost it again. I see it. Yep, the Matrix got it again. So here's the trick. I basically, Yeah, so it looks like after I stream for a while, because right now, yeah, so right now, let's see here, 2:45. It happened before around an hour and 35. Getting close. So yeah, it looks like I might need to change cameras for live streaming. Interesting. Okay, well, noted. Be careful with that M50, by the way. But it might be how I have it all hooked up and things like that too. So, okay. So next question here on the list is from, okay, yeah, we did that one already. Brainy Thompson. Brainy Thompson says they do cooking and basic home and event decoration. The goal is money and hobby for the channel. And the question is, how does live streams contribute to watch time? How's the watch time calculated for live stream? So the watch time is calculated on a live stream just like it is for every other type of content or every type of video on YouTube. However, you know what? It might be the sleep mode, actually. Thank you for that, G. Michael Jr. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. I think I've streamed for this long before. Maybe not with this camera. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look in that. But yeah, absolutely might be the thing. Thank you. I'll look into that as soon as I'm done. I'm actually going to take a note because my brain will be toast here. So look at sleep time for camera. Thank you for that. Okay, so on on the live streams and watch time. So basically the live stream counts as long as the live stream remains public, then it counts for your watch time when people are in there watching. In terms of how it's calculated, it's all the same. People watch minute per minute, it's calculated minute per minute. So if people watch your live stream for 10 minutes, then you get 10 minutes of watch time for that particular viewer. So it works the same exact way in terms of how live stream contributes to watch time. But in order to maintain that in terms of your public watch time, then in that particular case, you have to make sure that you keep it public and that you don't make it unlisted or private, because if you make it unlisted or private, then it goes away from being public. The unfathomable of spirituality. Thank you for hanging out. Gunmuse, what's up? Says 3 different places and a registry edit to kill all of them. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's for everything like going to sleep and all that stuff. Okay. Interesting. Well, no, typically, like with the live stream, it's typically fine. The computer's not going to sleep. It's just the camera itself. Okay, next question is from Shroom 2020. Shroom 2020 says, they've been on YouTube for 20 months. That's where we're at, folks. Been on YouTube for 10 months. They do gaming content. They do, the goal of the channel is entertainment. Should I use a consistent thumbnail look and appearance? Here's what I recommend about that. Consistency is important because it helps people recognize your content when they see it on the platform. As your subscriber base grows, they get used to seeing that and they know it's your content when you put it out. So having a consistent style is important, or having like your icon or something like that on your thumbnail is also important because it lets people know it's yours. However, first, before you focus on like building the branding side of your thumbnails, if you don't like know how to do that, before you spend tons of time doing that, first, make sure that you learn how to make an effective thumbnail that people click on. Once you do that, then you can start implementing some of the branding practices. But before you do anything, you have to make what's effective, and you have to learn that, because you don't want to basically get a template that you use or get a thumbnail that has a certain look to it that you use over and over again just because it's your look, right? You want to make sure that it's effective first. And what I mean by effective is that you want to make sure that when you publish the videos with that people are clicking on it and that you're getting a higher click-through rate for that particular design compared to another design based on the impressions that you're getting. But you want to make sure that you're making an effective thumbnail first. Once you can make an effective thumbnail, then start thinking about, okay, what tiny things can I do to this to where if I make effective thumbnails over and over and over again, what little tiny tweaks can I do to these to make them uniquely me, to where I can have a consistent theme with what it is that I'm doing, right? Because at the end of the day, if it all looks good, but people don't reply or respond to it, it doesn't matter, right? Because then you're not getting that response. But if you work on being effective first, and then you're like, okay, well now I'm going to go and start making these tweaks, then you'll end up being better off in the long run. Next question on the list is from Slick Sawick. Man, we're like rhyming all over the place today. Move over, Eminem, coming through. All right. Been on YouTube for 6 months. Gaming content. Goal is money. What's the quickest way to get 1,000 subscribers? Make effective videos that people respond to. Thumbnails, titles people click on. Videos they watch for a fair amount of time. Engage. You also get them to engage with what it is that you're doing, sharing your content, things like that. Do it over and over and over again. I understand that everybody wants to get 1,000 subscribers or 100,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers as fast as possible. I understand that. We all do. However, there's a process that you have to go through. When I understand wanting to know the quickest way too, because it's like, hey, if I just want to get this done quickly, I totally get it. But in order to get to that point, you have to make sure that you are like, the reason that there's these limitations on, well, you got to have this before you can get these features, and this before you can get these features, and this before you get these features. And the reason that people will say, hey, I'll collaborate with this person versus this person, the reason that that happens is based on the things that you develop along the way in terms of your skill sets that help you get to those places. So if you're coming onto YouTube and you don't have any experience making videos or anything like that, you're going to learn a ton on your way to 1,000 subscribers. Unless, you know, some people have like this innate ability to be able to like see things a certain way and like, you know, right out of the gate, understand certain stuff. Other people will come onto the platform with a back history of skills that work out great for YouTube. That was my advantage. But when it comes to YouTube, like if you're just coming onto YouTube, you are not used to like designing things or making videos or processing audio or things like that. Like you have to go through this process of learning how to do all that stuff, learning the discovery side of YouTube. How do you get your videos in front of people and things like that? And then you go through this process of, okay, well now I'm getting some views coming in. How do I get those viewers to actually subscribe to what it is that I'm doing? And you go through that process, and through that path that you take to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, you learn so much. Like literally, if you were to sit down and write down everything that you learn from zero, I don't know nothing about making videos. I just came onto YouTube. I just created my YouTube account. If you wrote down everything that you learned in that process to getting 1,000 subscribers, you would just be blown away by all of the stuff that you've learned in that process. But the goals or the skills that are required to go from 0 to 1,000, there's a lot of development there. And what's required to go from 1,000 to 10,000, there's a lot of development there. And same thing from 10 to 100 and so on. You learn tons about your equipment. You learn tons about how YouTube works. You learn tons about the audiences. You learn tons about the things that don't matter, that you think matter when you first start, right? You learn the things that matter that you don't even know about when you start, right? You learn all of that stuff along the way, and you learn how to like interact with people, and you learn how to do things efficiently and all that. But that journey from 0 to 1,000, that people try to, how do I do that as fast as possible? If you're fortunate enough to have experience to where you come onto YouTube and you can do a lot of the stuff that's required here, then you can close that gap pretty quick. If you're not, if you don't have that experience, sometimes it can take you a long time, just because with your job, your social life, maybe your family, that kind of stuff, with the amount of time that you can contribute to YouTube, you just can't accelerate that learning process that's in the middle of that development that you need in order to be able to do all those things. Like, for example, I think it was in the subreddit or maybe on Facebook. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were talking about how they were just wanting feedback on their stuff because they didn't know what they were doing wrong, which is a really common thing that I get. And I went and looked at their videos, and it wasn't that they were necessarily doing something wrong. It was just that it was crystal clear that they just hadn't developed yet the ability to be able to see that the video content that they were putting out was something that people just are like, there's no way that in their particular case that people are going to respond to it. And my response to them was, look, I hate to be the person to tell you this, but right now your videos are not that great. And you're going to have to go and watch a bunch of videos on how to make videos, and watch some filmmakers, and, watch some stuff on, how to edit videos and things like that in order to develop that side of it, so that you can make a piece of content that people will actually sit through, right? That they won't click away on as soon as they come into that particular video. So that 0 to 1,000 that people try to shortcut, you got to work through that, right? You got to work through it. And I personally think, and I know that people disagree with this, especially when they made the change. I know that a lot of people completely lost it when YouTube was like, hey, guess what? Now you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. People lost their minds. If you're on YouTube at the time, you know what I'm talking about. But the thing with that is, I actually thought now people have to earn it. So now in order to get that, people have to actually go through the process of learning how to do this in order to make it to where when an advertiser says, hey, we're going to advertise on YouTube, they know that they're putting their advertisements on content that has at least went through some of that skill development process to deliver a good product to the user. And if they're delivering a good product to the person that is watching that video, and then they're seeing that ad next to or in front of that video, that they're getting that, quality experience all the way throughout, instead of videos or ads being put on junk, so to speak, right? So focus more on developing the skills than anything, because that's actually going to get you the furthest. Because by developing the skills, you're going to develop how to get people to click. You're going to develop how to get people to click on a title. You're going to develop how to keep people watching. All that stuff if you just spend time working on the skills. Miggy Wiggy says, hobby to a comedy career. Says, what's the biggest tip that you have for going viral and showing up in suggested? You know what? I'm not going to answer this. From what I say in the comments here, from what I've said so far in the live stream, because I keep repeating this, what do you think in the comments? In the chat right now, what do you think the answer to this question is? What's the biggest tip that you have for going viral and showing up in suggested? In the chat right now, what do you think is the answer to this question? Definitely not luck. Not keywords. Great content. That's it. Jeff Eatley. Boom. Great content. Margin Shipper. Good content. The Purple Wall. Engaging content. Yes. Migbugua. Good thumbnail. Absolutely. Travis MCP says, take off your shirt. All right, it's going to be that kind of party. Make an interesting video. Yep. Make videos people want to see. Yep. These are all wins, right? Like it's like the content, right? Content that connects. Absolutely. Like all of these are good, right? Great thumb and great content. Like that's at the end of the day, you know, it comes down to that stuff, right? Make content that people respond to, right? Make that content that gets the response. And if people are responding, here's the thing, YouTube, they tell you, you know what? I'm actually going to find it for you so you can see this. Oops. Let's see here. Creator Academy. Algorithm. Maybe I should put this as like a reaction video. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you real quick. And we're just going to go through it. For everybody that's like, hey, how do I get this initial traction, right? How do I get that whole thing going? So here's what I want to show you. YouTube Creator Academy, right here. Creator Academy page lesson discovery, right? Right up here at the top. So right out of the gate, they tell you the very first part of this, at the very top of this, right? The first thing that you should learn when you're trying to figure out how to get things rolling on YouTube is the algorithm follows the audience, right? YouTube tells you right here, creators often ask, what kind of videos does the algorithm like most? Our systems have no opinion about what type of video you make and doesn't favor any particular format. Rather, they try their best to follow the audience by paying attention to things like what they watch, what they don't watch, how much time they spend watching, their likes and dislikes, and not interested feedback. And here's the thing that I want you to remember. Instead of worrying about what the algorithm likes, it's better to focus on what your audience likes instead. If you do that and people watch, the algorithm will follow. I can't highlight that enough, right? Instead of worrying about what the algorithm likes, it's better to focus on what your audience likes. If you do that and people watch, the algorithm will follow. If you do that and people watch, the algorithm will follow. I'm going to say it one more time. If you do that and people watch, the algorithm will follow. So which videos do they enjoy most, right? I'm always telling you to go in your stats, figure out what people respond to, make theories on why, and try to replicate it through making more content until you figure out reasons. How often do they watch your channel? This is your ability to keep people coming back, right? So much information just in this one little thing. How often do they keep coming back to your channel, right? What they're saying right here is basically how good are you at adding so much value to people? How good is your content at adding so much value to people in some form or another that they want to keep coming back to your channel and watching more of it, right? This is a factor. And then right here, check your YouTube analytics to figure out these answers. Just that. This tiny little thing right here in the introduction. This isn't even the rest of the information on this page. This is just the introduction, right? So now let's go down to the suggested videos because this is what everybody's wanting to know. Suggested videos are personalized collection of videos. Okay, this basically says what they are. Let's see here. Suggested videos are ranked to maximize engagement for the viewers. Signals that contribute to these recommendations include videos that viewers watch along with the current video. What that means is if you're making content on the topics that other people are making content on, then if people start watching your video, right, topically, if people watch content, if they're watching one video on, we'll just do like on how to do hair, then if people commonly watch other how to do hair videos, then YouTube's going to suggest other how to do hair videos next to the hair video that they're watching so that they'll be more likely to click on those videos. If you also make hair videos, then you would be more likely to show up in that spot. Or videos that are topically related. They could be videos from the same channel or from a different channel. Videos from a viewer's past watch history. Learn more about watch history here. Suggested videos are shown to viewers on the right side of the viewer page. Up next, blah, blah, blah. You can see which videos bring views to your channel from suggested videos and your traffic sources. Tips. Make strong calls to action for viewers to watch more of your videos. So myself and channels like mine, we're always saying in your end screens, tell people what to watch next. Link videos in your pinned comments that are relevant to the interest of the viewers or the stuff that they're watching on your channel, right? That reason for that is to, one, get more views and watch time. We have to package it that way. But ultimately, the real reason that we tell you that is because of this. Because you're trying to get people to watch more of your videos so they get suggested next to each other, right? Long endings may delay viewers from watching more, so try to be mindful of how your videos end, right? One of the things that I was just talking about in one of my last few videos was being really mindful of making sure that you are not verbally telling people or giving an indicator that your videos are finished so that they don't go watch something else. Use playlist links, cards, and end screens to suggest the next video. I just made an entire video about this plus some additional elements. Develop a series of videos that are organically connected. These are the series playlists that I always talk about, right? Make videos related to popular formats on YouTube, such as challenge or lists, right? But all this stuff, they give you in more detail. But you can find all this stuff at the YouTube Creator Academy. 100% free, provided by YouTube, doesn't cost you anything. They put it together so that you can learn how to be a better YouTuber. If you're a content creator and you're not going through the YouTube Creator Academy, you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you could see on that one page, like literally, we could look at that one page and break it down, and we could spend an hour on that one page just explaining in detail. I've actually done this. I think it's on one of the members' live streams that I did probably like 6 months or maybe a year ago, to where we went in and I actually literally broke down like a lot of this stuff. But I'll probably do it again, actually, coming up soon. But you know, like if you go in and if you're like really wanting to get the ball rolling, like it's a great way to do it, is just to understand from YouTube what it is that YouTube wants from you as a content creator. But at the end of the day, like what all of that breaks down to is that whole algorithm follows the audience thing, right? If people click, right? People click your thumbnails and your titles, they watch your videos, and they engage in your content, they keep coming back to your channel, YouTube is going to see that entire experience as something that is positive for the viewers. And if it's positive for the viewers, then YouTube is going to say, hey, this certain type of viewer clicks, they watch, they engage, and they come back. Who else on the platform would be the right fit for this particular for this video or these other videos from this particular channel that is repeatedly over and over again creating this content that people respond to, right? If you can keep doing that over and over again, then you'll win. Then you'll get the subscribers, you'll grow your channel, you'll get all of that stuff. But it's really hard to dedicate to saying, you know what? I'm going to focus really hard on all of those things, and I'm going to spend the time. This is the part that people have trouble with. I'm going to spend the time to really learn what it is that's working, what's not working. I'm going to experiment on my channel, and I'm going to find that path, right? That path to success on YouTube through experimentation, through learning how my audience responds to my stuff. All right. Let me go and grab another question here. So the next question on our list is from Undead Gaming. Hobby fun, gaming money for study. How do I advertise my channel free? Is there a site that I can go to advertise for free? YouTube is the site you can go to advertise for free. Any tips for making videos? Like, how can I make videos 2 times per week? Make it a priority. A lot of the people that talk about, I've actually worked with people like this, people that have hired me because they're like, you know, hey, I need help with my YouTube channel. And I work with them and I'm like, hey, you're not uploading consistently first. The very first thing we got to do is get you uploading consistently. And they tell me that they don't have time after the initial part of our conversation started with if I watch Game of Thrones and how I'm missing out because I should be watching Game of Thrones because these last few episodes were fantastic and so on. It's whatever your priority is, that's what you're going to do. So in terms of, you know, how to continually upload videos to YouTube, make it a priority, and you will. All right. Okay. So, with all of that said, I'm going to try to take one call. I think as long, let me check the Discord here and see if they have it all worked out. And as long as they do, I need to connect here via my thing here and see what is up with the calls and see if I can do this. Okay, so right now we have 0 people. And I need to connect with Bluetooth to my thing here. So would you like to pair a smartphone with a tablet or computer? Yes, I would. And I think I'll have to connect it here. So give me 1 second, and then you're going to have the ability to call in. There's a link in the description to Discord. And that comes in a first come, first serve thing. So I haven't connected this phone before, so let me do it now. Okay, we are connected. Okay, so who wants to call in? If you want to call in, I'm not going to look at your channel, but I can answer a question. So we're going to take a call, and we're going to see how this goes, and then we might do more based on how this goes. I think I need to turn my audio on. So currently there's nobody in there except for Doug. We've got Doug, and Doug, you might be my test pilot here where we're figuring this out. So basically, if you have Discord, make sure you hit the Discord that's down in the description below. In the Discord, you're going to see something called live stream call-in show. When you do that, Doug or somebody there is going to give you, I think it's Doug, is going to just give a quick, like, hey, what is your question, that kind of thing. And then we will get you passed on into me, who will be waiting for you in the room here. So I need to make sure that my voice activity is working, and I think it is. And hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to get my voice thing working. Okay, so my voice is on. So Doug, if you want to move Buster Baxter into the, or Shroom, either one, into the live room 1, and we'll see if I can hear them come through. And this is the first time doing this on this particular phone, so we're going to see how this goes. I've done this before on the live stream. Shroom, you're on Nimmin Live. Can you hear me? Let me make sure this is on. Okay, Shroom, can you hear me? Okay, this might not work as well as I was planning for. Hold on. Let's see here. Turn this on. Okay, sound is going through Rodecaster. Shroom, can you hear me? Oop. Shroom, can you hear me? Okay, it says that I have the server muted and deafened. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to figure that out right now, and then we will take this. So don't flood over there yet. Let me make sure that I can get this all worked out. Okay, I think we're good now. I think it's on. Shroom, can you hear me? Hello? Hey, what's up, dude? I can hear you. Shroom, welcome to Nimmin Live, man. What's up?
I'm not really sure what's going on.
Say you're not really sure what's going on? So basically, if you have a question about YouTube, now's your time to ask, man. What's up?
So, like, should I have, like, a sort of, like, consistent type of, like, thumbnails? Like, just, my notes is just, like, all over the place.
Yeah, this is breaking up, like, really bad, like a really unstable connection here. Let me... Okay, so say it again.
Okay.
Yeah, the connection's pretty bad. Here, let me try something here really quick, man. Let me see if it's on my side or yours. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, answer your question or ask your question.
So, my thumbnails are basically all over the place. Should I do like a more consistent feed, or should I like continue with that?
Okay, so the question that he's asking is with the with the thumbnails, they are not consistent. So the question that Shroom is asking is, should they be consistent or should they not be consistent? Am I answering that, or am I restating that correctly, Shroom?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So when it comes to your thumbnails, it's important to make sure, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, but it's important to make sure that you are making sure that your thumbnails are effective first before you worry about the branding things and making them consistent. Because if you focus on making them consistent first, then you might be making a consistent thumbnail that people don't necessarily respond to. So because of that, you want to make sure that you make your thumbnails consistent first. Or I'm sorry, that you make your thumbnails effective first. And by effective, I mean that you practice getting people to actually click on your thumbnails by making thumbnails that people respond to, figuring out with your particular type of channel what people respond to. And then once you get that figured out, then go ahead and start working on making things more consistent. Okay?
Yeah, I understand, because like right now I'm not doing well in either of those. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's part of the process, right? Part of the process is basically going through that and figuring out how to make that, basically just learning how to do that, right? Because when you first start on YouTube, you don't have those skills in place. And part of growing on YouTube is actually developing those skills so that you can do that. Okay. But I'm telling you this, if you focus on learning how to do all of that, then you will figure out how to make it work, but you have to focus on making sure that you're developing the skills in order to make it possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for calling in. Take care. Okay. Next up in our list here, I'm in live room 1 here. Doug, feel free to move anybody in here. Buster Baxter, what is up, man?
How's it going?
Going fantastic. You are Nimmin live. What is your question?
So my question is, what I've been noticing is there's like, whenever I see new channels pop up, it almost seems like they're kind of more is that true? Is it more prioritized? Like, is it better to kind of like leave an old channel and start a new channel?
No, it doesn't matter. It's not that a new channel, it's not that a new channel is prioritized. It really just comes down to the actual content itself. So what happens is typically, like if you have an older channel and that channel didn't do well, it probably didn't do well because you're not putting out content that people are like digging, right? So when you start putting out content on a new channel, you run into a similar problem because you don't even have a history at all yet. So because of that, there's no like good or bad. And because of that, there's no like real information on the channel at all, but that's not necessarily a good thing, right? So personally, because if you have an older channel that does have subscribers that are already interested in that particular type of content, I would recommend that you upload on that older channel for the sake of being able to tap into at least some views to start giving YouTube some data on how people respond to the content instead of starting from scratch where you don't have, anybody to pull, any real data from.
Okay, that makes sense. And when you talk about like niching down, whenever you see like YouTubers like, let's say Mr. Beast, right? I'm just throwing them out there. How is it that they're able to thrive really well when it comes? Because like they don't. It almost feels like they don't have a niche.
They do. They do. They're like
Mr.
Beast. His is entertainment, and not only is his entertainment, but his is also extreme challenges, right? So like in his particular case, like he got to where he is by technically like torturing himself doing like these extreme videos, and then he just kind of kept that going, but he just started involving more people, right? To where it's like, hey, how long can you keep your hand on this thing? How many hours or days can you keep your hand on this? How can I personally count to this crazy number that's going to take me all of this time in order to count there, right? So he basically made his foundation off of extreme challenges, and that's his space. So when it comes to those types of channels, like one thing that people don't see, because they see Mr. Beast now where he has like 22 million subscribers, but they didn't see Mr. Beast going through that process that every other content creator goes through of making content that people didn't respond to. And then over time, learning how to make content that people respond to. And then now he's to a point to where every piece of content he puts out, because he understands it so well, people respond to it in a massive way with everything that he puts out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I guess he's also at the side where anybody can like he's big enough to where anybody, like whatever he puts out, it always does well.
Right, because one, people know they can count on him for it. Two, he's mastered the art of making content, or he's mastered the art of making thumbnails people respond to, titles, and making video content that people respond to. So Video Summit, which is a conference that just happened in October, and YouTubers, like once you get to the point to where you're like, yeah, I'm going to start investing in my channel, make sure you go to Vid Summit. But like in his case, he actually went up on stage and he shared all of his data, and he's like, look, this is what I've learned. And he shared all of his data and explained why things work the way that they do on his channel. He explained how he does his thumbnails and why he makes certain decisions in his thumbnails and so on. And all of that was to let people know that, you know, there is a lot of nuance to this stuff. But, you know, once you go through the process of learning what works best for your audience and you spend that time learning, that you can apply this stuff to your channel to start getting some real activity on your channel. You know, like in my case, you know, I don't have like my type of content because I'm pretty hard niche down. Like I don't have like the mass appeal. However, I do know that for the type of content that I make, I know exactly the right content to make, to where I know that if my stats are starting to go down, I know exactly what to make in order to bring them back up. I know the specific videos that I put out that people are going to watch for a longer period of time compared to others. I know with my audience, with you, right, that watches my videos, I know when I put out content, I know exactly how that, well, not exactly. Sometimes I'll have videos surprise me, but I know with like 95% accuracy or so, how that video is going to perform like out of the gate before I even publish it. When I'm thinking like, hey, what video am I going to make next? I know how that video is going to perform. So like your job as a content creator is to get to that point to where you understand your content, how people respond to your content and your audience enough to be able to predict your own success like that in terms of the content in every video that you put out. And the better you get at that, the better you'll be able to pull those switches, so to speak, to where you can have like times where you experiment, and then during those experimentation times, then it's kind of like, okay, well, this experiment's working or this one's not. So since this one's not, now I need to pull that lever of the content that I know people respond to in order to get some of that activity happening on my channel again.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And then really quickly, is Mr. Beast's video on like some on YouTube?
The video that he, or not the video, but the presentation that he gave, you can actually get that through the Vid Summit replays. I've actually got a link to that down in the description below. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, but I think it's like $100 or something, but you get all of the presentations there. But one of those is his, and it's his presentation was fascinating. So like if you're wanting to know that information, it's, in my opinion, it's totally worth it because of what he tells you and the other presenters as well, because I present there with my brother, Sean Cannell, Roberto Blake, all the people that make this type of content, they present there, but also some YouTubers like Mr. Beast, Casey Neistat is there, Peter McKinnon's there, and everybody's sharing like the information that, got them to where they are and that sort of thing. So highly recommend it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, really, man. Have a great day. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah. You too. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. So real quick, I want to say to Fable Beard Company, they just wanted to stop in and share how much we love you. Keep doing your amazing work. Thank you for that, man. 50 spot. That's a big one. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Those are always cool to see because it lets me know, like, hey, they must have gotten some like awesome value here. So thanks for that. I appreciate it. Okay. So we're going to do another one of these. I need to find it again here. 1 second. Live room. Let me go into, that's the exit room. Let me go back here. Okay, Jeff Eatley, what's up, my man?
Doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you? Nice to have a conversation with you. Normally, we just get to see each other at events and shoot tweets back and forth, man. How's it going?
It's been a crazy couple of months, and we're kicking it in gear, getting a lot of content going out. But I kind of, towards retention, I know you're a big guy for retention. Is there a story block, or how do your ups and downs? And I mean, working with Daryl and working with a couple other guys, trying to really feel out a good story pace to keep the retention higher. Because I'm hitting 42, 45%, but I want to kick that up to 60.
42, 45 on how long? How long is the video?
7 to 9 minutes.
Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, getting it up higher. What you need to do is it's not necessarily like the story arc. I mean, that's a part of it, but what you need to do, because like the best way I can explain it is I can tell you what works on my channel. I can tell you what's worked for client channels, things like that. But the best way to explain it is that you need to go in, you need to figure out how your folks are responding to what it is that you're doing, right? Because like I can say, well, just go in, look where they're dropping off, or look where they start to drop off, or maybe change what's happening on the scene more, or maybe if you notice that you're telling the story, but you're just constantly talking, maybe you should put in pauses here and there, and maybe just show some B-roll sequences and then come back to your talking. I can tell you those things, and you can experiment with those things, but you're just going to be experimenting, which is ultimately going to be the same exact thing that you're going to do. If you go into your current content, you start noticing, hey, in these last 10 or 15 videos, this is how people responded. This is how people responded at these particular points in the video. What am I doing, or what do I think I'm not doing in these particular sections of the videos that are getting people to respond or not during those particular sections of the videos? Because I can give you the tips, but until you actually go in and you look at your stats anyway, and you look at your audience retention, when you are trying to apply what I tell you, you're going to be in the same exact situation in terms of experimentation. But what I recommend is look in your audience retention, see if you have like periods of time to where you talk for a while, and look how people respond. Like in my case, when I talk for a really long time and I have no breaks at all, which is kind of like all of my video content, when I do that, I get a gradual drop like this, right? When I end up showing B-roll, sometimes that ends up holding people just a tad bit longer. Other times, not so much. I can also tell through my content that when I have high energy in terms of like, I'm like pumped when I'm making the video, people will watch for a longer period of time compared to when my energy is really low or just kind of like moderate, right? If I'm making a video and I'm tired, then people just don't watch it for as long. They don't respond as well. So what you need to do is you need to go into your content. If you're trying to get those like final things dialed in, you just need to go into your content and literally, man, take notes. Grab yourself a notebook and watch your content through your audience retention and take notes on what it is that people respond to versus what they don't. And when you start to notice those gradual drops, think to yourself, okay, if I were to just completely change the scene here, instead of sitting here just talking to the camera, if I completely change the scene and instead of just talking to the camera, I was walking and talking to the camera instead, to where they would see like a different environment around me, would that make a difference? And then go and do that and then see how people respond to that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was just, I'm just trying to weed it out, and every little tip, every little thing, 1% per day,
Oh, dude,
I get it.
I get it, man.
Rolling.
I get it. Yeah, I get it for sure, man. That's how you get better. You know what I mean? Those little tweaks, man, 1% every day adds up over time. I get it.
I'm really looking forward to this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing all y'all guys, because it's gonna be different now. Daryl helped me out, and I got into this because I saw you with Daryl, and that's how I ended up on YouTube.
Nice.
So when you first hooked up with him, that was the first video I think I ever watched. So
nice. Yeah, Daryl's awesome. For those of you that are watching,
it's gonna be a great year.
Yeah, it is. 2020 is going to be awesome for all the way around. For those of you watching this, he's talking about Daryl Eves. So basically, like, he's also, gotten some information from Daryl Eves. He was at Jeffrey was at Vid Summit, actually, and working really closely with Daryl Eves behind the scenes, taking pictures, videos, that kind of stuff. So he was also privy to a lot of like really good information as well. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out for you here in 2020. All right, Jeff, I'm going to take another call. So thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully you found that helpful in some way. And cheers to 2020. All right. So we're gonna do another call here. See how this goes. How you guys liking this call? Give me a like or nah. Give me a yes or nah on how you're liking these calls. San925, welcome to Nimmin Live. What is going on?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just new to YouTube, and it's been a year, and I have been watching your videos for a while, and so I just wanted to say that I wanted to ask you a question that about user interest of watching the videos.
Okay.
And so I wanted to ask if so there are videos. I've been studying YouTube for a while now. Before I joined YouTube, So I wanted to say there are like kind of videos which users like repeated, and there are kind of videos that users don't like to be repetitive or series, you could say. So personally, my channel is a gaming channel, and I wanted to understand that how a user will actually respond to the videos, and not only understanding by likes and all of that, and make them actually interact with the video.
Okay, first off, in terms of making them, you can suggest, but you can't really make them, right? But what you want to do if you're trying to get, so basically in a nutshell, you're just trying to say how do you get more engagement in your videos? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so things that you can do to generate more engagement in your content is one, ask. And I know some people are they're just not comfortable asking, or they think that it's kind of pushy, but just reminding people to ask or to subscribe or to like or something like that is a really good idea, because it's effective. It works because if somebody's watching your gameplay and they're watching and they're like, hey, you know, this is great, I'm loving this gameplay. Oh, he almost got shot, or whatever your game happens to be. Then they're focused on that. They're not focused, and they're not even thinking about, hey, I should like this, I should comment, anything like that. So what you can do, one thing that that works is you can say, ask for feedback. So you don't ask them to leave a comment. Just don't say hey, leave a comment. Give people something to leave a comment about, right? So instead of saying, hey, if you're liking this video, leave me a comment. Instead, like, ask a question that they can answer in the comment, right? Because what you do there is you take down that barrier of effort when you do that. Because if you tell people to leave a comment, what you're doing is you are putting them in a situation to where they have to think of something to leave a comment about, right? So when you say, hey, leave me a comment.
Lazy for it.
Yeah, but when you're like, hey, leave a comment, and then they have to think, okay, well, what is it I'm going to leave a comment about, right? Am I going to talk about the game? Am I going to talk about them as a person? Am I going to talk about my time on YouTube? Like, what is it I'm going to talk about? But if you're like, hey, if you've ever beaten this level, let me know in the comments. If you have another way that you beat this game, let me know in the comments. If you've made it this far in the game, let me know in the comments. Anything like that. How far have you made it in this game if you're watching? Do you have this game? Let me know in the comments. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then just by making it easy for them to go down there and answer a question, you're going to increase the engagement on your channel. Same exact thing happens with asking people to like the video, just reminding them, right? And giving them a reason to like the video. Like you probably heard me say earlier in the live stream, hey, if you're enjoying this stream, give me a thumbs up, just because that's a way that I gauge on how I'm doing in the stream, right? So the same exact thing applies in terms of just making it easy for people, because what you ultimately want to do is you want to remove that barrier of effort that comes between people engaging and not engaging, right? And you just want to make it easy where all they have to do is just do the action instead of thinking of how to do the action, right? Does that make sense?
And yeah, but it did. Yeah, I'm actually typing it out, and I'm just analyzing whatever you're saying.
Okay.
And so another thing I wanted to say was, are there any seasons or days that people spike up to watch videos or something like that, so that we could post the videos on this particular day and they prefer to watch it on this day, and so you can understand that when and how do people watch.
Yeah, when it comes to your audience, you have to think about who it is that you're making content for. So there's no blanket ideal time on YouTube to publish content, right? What you have to think about is the people that I'm trying to reach. When are they most likely to be on YouTube? When are they most likely to log in and be able to watch content on YouTube and publish at that time? So for example, if you're doing gaming content, you're probably reaching like a younger demographic. So in that particular situation, you have to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to publish this video before they get to school, because I want them to be able to watch while they're waiting for the bus. I want them to be able to watch while they are hanging out waiting for school to start in the morning, right? So you want to think of the people that you're trying to reach and how you can publish in a way that makes sense to them. You also want to look at your real-time analytics, and you want to look and see when you get spikes and valleys in your content or in the activity on your channel, and you want to publish right before you start getting a lift. And then when you do that, that gives you the ability to ride that wave as well, because that's proof that people are coming in and they're interacting with your channel during those times. So if you track that over the course of like a week or a couple of weeks, you're going to start to see, hey, these are the times and days that are most active on my channel. And then you want to publish before that so that you can ride that peak out. Does that make sense?
I actually analyzed the channel, and what I saw was in the first few hours, people watch it and it spikes like way up. and then during the next few months or this year, there has been no major spikes or anything at all.
You want to look at your channel as a whole.
And how does
you want to look at your channel as a whole in this situation, because you're looking for the activity happening on your channel. So you want to look at your channel as a whole, not just a video for this situation. Okay.
I checked multiple videos.
No, you want to look at the channel as a whole. So go in and look at your real time, like track your real time stats across the board on your channel as a whole. And that's going to give you the indicator of how much activity is happening at different times throughout the day and throughout the week on your channel. Okay. Okay. Thank you for calling in.
I don't want to waste your time, and
yeah, thanks. Okay. Yeah, thanks for calling in. Hopefully you found that helpful. Huh?
Helpful.
Okay. Have an awesome rest of your Saturday. Thanks for calling in. All right. So with those calls, I do want to thank everybody for hanging out in the live stream today. I want to thank the mods for doing what it is that you guys do. Thank you so much for the efforts that you put in here. Always helpful and appreciated by me and everybody that's hanging out in the chat. So thank you for what it is that you do. Massively appreciated. Also, hold on, let me turn my audio off here. Close that out. Okay, I think I'm off. Okay. Yeah. So everybody hanging out in the live stream, hopefully you learned something today during the stream. Hopefully you have some information that is actionable that you can take away and that you can apply to what it is that you're doing. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody that gave the super chats, thank you for that as well. It's massively appreciated. For channel members, make sure if you haven't joined the members only Facebook group yet, that you make sure that you do that, because I'm doing some more stuff in there for you now as well in 2020. Like for example, like last week, I went in and started watching some videos and things like that and giving some tips on some videos. So I'm going to continue to do that sort of thing in there. So make sure that if you have not joined that yet and you're a member, make sure that you do that. And besides that, thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody have an awesome weekend. And until next week, have an awesome time. Be happy. Make sure that you're spending time doing the things that you enjoy doing. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.